Okay. Waiting to see things through.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I have the wrong faces up. I have three. I forgot we only have two of us at this point.
Oh yeah, that's right. 2 and then 3 when Andross comes on. So
Why
are we
isn't? Oh, it worked. I was looking at this. Okay, now we have two faces. I can switch it
There
to
it is.
three when he. I can switch it to 3 when he gets here.
Yes. All right. Well, let's get this party started then. Since he's going to be ending his party, we'll get ours started. You ready? I'm ready. All right, let's do this. I'll do the opener, of course. So, all right. 3, 2. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 384, recorded on July 21st, 2022. On tonight's episode, with special guest Andross from the Nintendo Pals, who will be here shortly, we talk about the Nintendo Pals podcasting life, the end of the world for some eShop users, the latest update on games, and lots of your questions. Jesse, you know what to do. And hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tim and Jesse coming at you live right now. And then if you're listening to us from a podcast, of course, it's not live anymore. But anyways, we're coming to you from Nintendo Dad's headquarters from each of our houses. I'm just making up stuff. Jesse, how are you doing?
Pretty good. It's been one of those weeks at work. We talked a little bit on pre-show about things, but yeah, I don't want to hash that again.
Listen to pre-show if you are subscribing, then you'll know what we're talking about.
I wanted to try to get some more time into my 6502 project, and as of this weekend, I really haven't. So I had a problem with it and had to roll it back as well. Kind of rip out parts from wires that I added for part 2, trying to get back to part 1, so I can figure out what's going on with it.
Yes, so you ripped it all out, you said?
I'm in the process of it.
Okay, that's a lot of work.
Yep,
you put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, well, I'm saving the jumper wires so I can put them back in again. So I don't have to recreate them.
That makes sense. So you got to be careful when you do that. For sure. And hey, everybody who joined us who's joining us live here, we've got Mecha Dragon, of course, over on YouTube. We got a guy named Laugher over here too. Hey, Laugher, how's it going?
Pretty good.
And we also have Sean Capri from the Carpool Gaming over there joining us here. So, and then Chris L94 or HL's Chris HL94. He's in, and oh, look, Mecha is now on Twitch. He's messing with me now. So, but thank you everybody who stopped by. There's 7 of you all hanging out there. So those who aren't in the chat, thank you all for hanging out with us. And those of you who will be popping in, we always appreciate you guys popping in. So, hey, Ninfrendo's here. Awesome. And Nintendo Pals is rating us. They finished their stream. And of course, Andross will be joining us shortly once he's done there. So it'll be awesome. So that'll be cool. We can't wait. So Schlimator thanks for joining us from over there. Spider Shan, all kinds of people from the Nintendo Pals. And look, here he comes. Slowly but surely. All right. But let's get started with the news while he's joining us. And the news is brought to you by our Patreons, and not just our sponsors like Manscaped, but our news is sponsored by our Patreons. And you can go over to Patreon and subscribe for $1 or more and be a Patreon member there. And we also have Twitch as well. You can subscribe there as well. But the news is brought to you by Patreon. And you get all kinds of wonderful things like being able to listen to the pre-show and us talk about work. That kind of stuff. So, hey, there's Andross. How's it going,
Hey,
Andross?
I'm so sorry you guys started without me. I apologize. But I
No,
sent a
it
raid.
worked
I sent a
out.
raid over. Yeah, yeah.
I know that was cool. I figured that, hey, that's good timing. We can
Oh, that was the
get
plan.
started, and then you can rate
Ulterior
us, and then
motives
come
and all
join
that.
us.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. How you been? How was your week?
It's been good. My week's been good. We've had a nice relaxing week. And yeah, just trying to chill and unwind. We had a big weekend last weekend at Nintendo Pals. We did a 24-hour stream. So this week I was like, yeah, I'll be taking the whole week off from streaming, but I couldn't stay away. So that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing before this. I was streaming some.
Nice. What were you doing in your stream today?
Today I was trying to do the Iron Bros Mario Maker 2 challenge, and that is to beat 50 levels of Mario Maker endless mode on normal with 1 life. So if you die, you have to reset.
You're crazy, man.
It is crazy. I got to 6. That's the best I did tonight.
I don't remember if it was normal. Do they have what difficulty levels do they have? Is normal the easiest?
Easy,
or is
normal, expert, and super expert.
Okay. I know I remember doing endless mode. I got into like the 130s, 140s. I don't know if that was easy or normal. Of course, this was before everyone made Kaizu levels, and that's the only thing people make.
Yeah, I had some very fun levels tonight. I made it all the way to the end, and there's just a wall.
Oh my goodness!
And you couldn't finish it. I'm like, are you
got
serious?
trolled?
Because I took the wrong path. Yep. And it's like,
wow,
that's a reset.
I'll have to check out the replay for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and do more of that because I don't know. I'm a glutton for punishment. Apparently, that's the kind of games I play.
So we'll look forward to part 2 of that.
Part 2.
Nice. All right. Well, we're in the news section, so we'll get talking about the news section. But like I said, it's brought to you by patreon.com/NintendoDads. If you want to be a Patreon, you can come join us there by following that URL. For just $1 or more, you can not only be sponsoring us the news, but you can also be part of our Discord and get all kinds of perks in there with the community.
One of the best Discords on the internet.
Yep, just one of the best, because there's a group of us that are just totally awesome, and we kind of bounce around between all our different groups. So
yeah, well, but I've got to say, Tim does a fantastic job over there. So definitely check it out. I highly recommend their Patreon and all the perks you get with that.
Oh, thanks, Andross. You're so nice.
No, you guys are nice. You get the perks. I don't know what you're talking about. We're the ones that get the stuff. So. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some of the news bits we have here. First up on our list, we have updates on Wii U and 3DS eShop discontinuation, which is as of August 29th, 2022. It will no longer be possible to add funds, in case you weren't aware, as well as of March 27, 2023, purchases will no longer be available. But Nintendo wanted to make it very clear that even after March 27, 2023, and for the foreseeable future, it will still be possible to re-download games and DLC, receive software updates, and enjoy online play on Wii U consoles and Nintendo 3DS systems.
See, my question is, I thought we already knew this, so why is this news now?
I think there was some clarification or just date clarifications for Wii U and 3DS, but it was brought up again, I guess. So I guess just reiterating it, maybe just kind of making sure people understand.
Did we already have the specifics on dates?
I think so, but I think there was maybe there was confusion because of all the Wii and DS issues that they were having as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they did just like bring those back up. Sort of. It's so weird to me that they have them up and running long after they turn off the payment system. Like, why not shut the whole thing down? But I it's nice for those that want to make sure they get all their things re-downloaded.
Right. Well, and it's nice for that part that they just mentioned. You can re-download your games, and that's why people go on spending sprees too. So they pick up all this stuff because they know they can re-download it and get all the DLCs, and then there's always there can be updates as well.
Becca says it can't be that hard to keep the shop open. Doesn't Nintendo make millions? Yes, but they want to keep the millions. Therefore, they need to shut down things that are cost.
Especially if it's older technology or on an older platform that could be hacked and stolen and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if they have security up. You're talking about two people who's in IT here. So, yeah, we deal with security issues all the time.
3 people.
Yeah, I was gonna say I also do that. I also deal with this kind of stuff. It's like supporting supporting any like live service platform or just any technical platform in general. I mean, eventually things no longer get supported. I think the sad news for the way games have gone since about the Wii era with things being fully online, there are certain games that just get lost to time in that shuffle. Whereas, NES, SNES, and N64 games, they're physical games. They're still available in their physical forms.
Yes.
So you can still get those, but a lot of these they're going to be gone, like gone, and that's sad. There's some really good ones that will be gone.
Yep, and that always leads to that discussion of the digital age and being able to keep your games and all that kind of stuff.
Friendo asks, isn't there a Japanese push to legislative preserve games? That I don't know, but there's a difference between preserving games and making them available.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo is good at preservation. We found that out with like the Giga Leak over the last 2 years. Yes. It's just they don't always make everything available.
It's not publicly available. Yeah.
So I think a lot of people confuse that. Just because it's preserved doesn't mean it means it's available.
Right.
I can't just go and walk up to the Mona Lisa and do what I want with it. It's in a secured building in a secure case with lasers, I'm sure.
Laser beams. Sharks with laser beams.
Yeah,
sharks.
Like protecting the Mona Lisa. So, but then sorry, kind of going off on a tangent here about the Mona Lisa. Wasn't there an incident where some lady threw a pie at it? Like,
I think I might have heard something about that, but I didn't take too much thought into it.
Yeah, I was just like throwing a pie at it, cream pie at it, and all. I was just like, wow, that's.
Well, how are you get a cream pie into the Louvre anyway?
Right. Right. I'm going to a party. No, I'm not throwing it at the Mona Lisa. All right. Anyways,
Becca says he's going to steal the Mona Lisa. Good luck with that.
Have fun with that. Mario Strikers Battle League DLC updates. The first free update released, and we have 2 new characters, Daisy and Shy Guy. We have new gear, Knight, which increases strength and shooting.
That's Knight with a K.
That is correct. New stadium with Desert Rune, excuse me.
Yeah, Ruin.
No, it was Ruin. Sorry, a Ruin. And then it was released today. So I know our Strikers community was just talking about that, and I saw a post by Drew saying it's out. So
it's out. When I checked earlier, it wasn't out.
So I think it launched around the same time as our next bullet, so I won't get into that yet. But it launched like an hour ago.
Okay, so it's not been up super long.
Probably while you were streaming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
While I was banging my head up against the wall at Mario Maker 2,
literally.
Nintendo's like, "Hey, here you go. Have some Daisy and Shy Guy."
Yeah. Well, before we move on, I just wanted to say I had a joke in the notes that Tim took out.
Now I'm the bad guy.
It was taken out because Justin talked about it a little bit last week. So, but the joke was Nintendo Direct ... lead to Twitter, because the last 5 announcements have been just here's a tweet, enjoy.
Yep. Everything Nintendo Direct-ish has been posted on Twitter. And
I mean, that's the route they're going right now because they want to be tricky. They're like, keep you on your toes. You're not getting a Direct. Instead, watch your Twitter feed, which
June Direct has been spread out over 3 weeks,
right,
on Twitter.
Why
well,
Twitter? Why Twitter? Could Nintendo encourage me to go to a platform that isn't awful.
Well, let's talk about
Name
this.
one.
That's a good point. How about direct to the Switch news app? It's like the thing on the front page.
I would classify that as awful as well.
Yeah, well, not there's nobody on it, so
Exactly.
a little less awful than Twitter.
Let me throw this out.
It's awful not because of the community, because there is none.
Yeah, I do like that. Name one. Oh yeah, good point.
Mecha says MySpace.
MySpace.
I'm surprised you don't know my MySpace, Mecha.
Well, Mecha and I are about the same age. MySpace was like prime time for our age group. That was like, yeah, this is where all the cool kids are going. Put your 90s MP3 on there.
You were 8 years old. What are you talking about?
He's like, okay, you go with that.
The cool kids that had internet at that stage of life. I don't even think I had.
Well, let me ask you guys this.
Sorry.
Do you guys think we'll have an actual Nintendo Direct in the normal time frame that they have in, say, late August, September, or in September? Or maybe even early October? I mean, in their usual fall time frame where they start talking about the holidays.
I think September-ish.
Yeah.
But I think any people were hoping, oh, maybe you'll get one in July if we didn't get one in June. I don't think so. I think we've already had it, or we're still in the middle of it, depending on how often Nintendo drip feeds news.
It's a pretty stacked year as well. I don't really see like them. They don't need to. You know what I mean? Like they don't have
anything in August yet, right?
Don't they?
I don't think there's any Nintendo games coming out in August.
That's because they put them all in October.
There's like October.
There's like October. 20 in October. Yeah. Yeah. So I just feel like it's a pretty hefty a pretty hefty time period. So but I could
we
see
have
September.
Pac-Man World Repack coming in August. We don't need anything else.
Oh yeah.
We're set. We're all set.
Also, Splatoon is early September.
Early September. September 9. So
it's kind of like same difference-ish.
Second Friday.
They want to give plenty of space for Splatoon, apparently. So
yeah, nobody's going to be done with Xenoblade by then anyway. So
that's what it is, Xenoblade. They just want to give you space for that.
And Live Alive.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, it's very different. I think Nintendo is like just like keeping us on our toes. They're like, oh, you guys, you're expecting something. Well, here, take these tweets instead.
I was listening to the Kit and Krista podcast, and Kit was talking about how there is that mentality there where it's like they did not like people predicting and figuring out exactly when things would be happening. And so they do stuff like that. They shuffle it just to keep you on your toes.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, can't you just be predictable? I guess it's to like maybe help prevent leaks and
and that
false
was an
expectations
too that they talked about leaks, handling
and
leaks.
Just fake lists coming out saying that it's real.
Yeah. Exactly.
Everyone's expectations up.
Here's the thing, people. You are the ones that ruined it. We could have had a direct this summer if you didn't open your big mouths and you just waited patiently. Instead, you had to go look for the presents early. Yes. You had to go peek in your parents' rooms and look for your Christmas toys, and you ruined Christmas for everyone. Thank you, leakers.
Well,
this is the kind of sass I bring to Nintendo Dads. Thanks for having me on, by the way.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
No,
I'm amazed every time I'm invited back. Like, hey, I didn't get fired as chief intern yet, so that's nice.
No, you did not. So, but no, it's fun to speculate, obviously, and that's what we try to do. Is we're not trying to say we have any insider news. My uncle keeps telling me not to say that anymore. So, so we just.
Tim, does your uncle work at Nintendo? Like,
yes,
I've got to ask, like, what? Because
and I have an aunt who works at EA. So because I like
I always pictured like the uncle that worked at Nintendo to be like about your age, Tim. So
Mhm.
like if your uncle is your uncle the same age as you, but because I would picture he'd be like 40 years older than you.
It's a weird dynamic. I wouldn't try to figure that out.
It's like,
Don't worry. Maybe
The
I am the uncle. I am talking about myself. Who
the
knows?
uncle that works at Nintendo is like in his like 60s. You
Yep.
know? He's like
he retired and decided he wanted to work for Nintendo customer support.
there
So
you
he's
go.
just taking phone calls there. He's the insider. So,
He's the
oh darn it, I wasn't supposed to talk about his department. Okay, gotta watch out for those ninjas. Anyways,
We know they listen to this show for sure. Those ninjas, they're always after.
Doug Bowser listens to us.
That's
all
why
the time.
That's why Justin's not on anymore. And Marty's
He's gotta
been
be careful.
Marty's been in hiding for like a good month.
Yeah,
Got to make sure. Got to make
Don't
sure.
tell anybody.
Nobody
Doug
knows.
Bowser listens to all of our shows. That's why, if you heard any time talked about it, he's taking notes from us. So, anyways,
Good old Doug.
All right. So
And Jesse's just like, I'm not saying anything because I want to stay on the show. I don't want to have to take a break from the ninjas.
I don't know what you're talking about.
new NES, SNES games announced today for NSO. Right before we came on, we got Fighter's History for the SNES, Kirby's Avalanche for SNES, and Deva's Story 6 Imperial of Nasardia.
I saw that. I'm like, I've never heard of this game. What the
That's
hell
an
is
NES
it?
game. And that was released for Famicom in December of 1986. Never released for the NES. So again, they give us this weird game that was never brought to the US. We could have had Custom Robo over here, but no,
Yeah,
they don't want to bring
Not
that
only
over
is this
here.
a game no one asked for, but this is a game no one's heard of.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, it was the sixth part of a 7-part series developed by Toshiba EMI, whatever that stands for. And the series is not a collection of sequential stories, but rather a presentation of the same story from 7 different perspectives.
How can 7 different teams win the battle on different games? I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense.
This game uses a password system consisting of non-English letters, but the gameplay itself is a shmup that doesn't require any reading.
This game looks rad though. I'm interested, but
That's why I was brought over, because it doesn't require any reading.
Before we recorded, I updated my apps and checked, and for us, those 3 things are all we got. But the Japan app, they got like 3 different SP versions of Kirby games in addition to all this.
We'll
So I'm like,
eventually get those.
Kirby's getting a lot of love.
Yeah,
It's nice.
yeah.
we'll eventually. Actually, they won't
Well-
announce those. Usually SP games here, they don't announce, right? They just kind of appear.
Well, I loaded the Japanese games first, and I'm wondering, then I loaded ours, wondering if we also got SPs, and no, we didn't. But of course, Kirby's Avalanche, that was basically my introduction to Puyo Puyo.
Okay.
I did play this on the Super Nintendo, but I didn't know it was called Puyo Puyo at the time.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
But
Andross,
I'll
you
definitely
looking
play
forward
that.
to these?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of puzzle games. I played through this week all of Pokemon Puzzle League for the first time and had a blast with that. I'll play Kirby's Avalanche for sure because I am a fan of Puyo Puyo. And I'll give that how do you say that game? Deva Story 6. I'll give that one a try.
DIAVA.
I have a friend who we should call her Day because her full name starts with DAI and it's too complicated. So we call her Day because of that, DAI. So that's why I thought it was just Day for, Deva.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Japan normally will pronounce each of those letters separately.
Okay.
I don't know.
Day
could be- There could be exceptions. I have no idea.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
just gonna butcher it with my completely American
I
pronunciation. Hooked
I
on
always have butchered these names. Yeah.
Pahonics over here. Yeah, Fighter's History, absolutely no interest. I'm so like I feel like there's so many fighting games on the NSO already, and they're all.
It's not a poor man's Street Fighter. It's a poor man's Street Fighter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
it's the Wish of fighters games.
And I don't know. It just seems like there already are games like that on NSO. I'd rather get unique stuff. Like Custom Robo would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
Please bring that over, Nintendo.
I wonder what makes them decide to bring these over. Like if there's any kind of popularity type thing, like sales from back then indicate that we're going to bring these over now because they were popular back then or something like that. Maybe Fighter's History was popular then. I don't know, but everybody I knew had Street Fighter 2 on the SNES.
I had never heard of this one before. Yeah.
Yeah, neither have I. Yeah, Kirby's Avalanche is the only one of these three that I've heard of.
At least we're getting like that's a Nintendo name, you know. I thought we were at the bottom of the barrel where we're not going to see any Kirby, Mario, but they still got them.
I think they're starting to run out of Kirby games though. They've pretty much saturated that market this month.
Yeah, and maybe next we'll get that. What's that Mario game where you have like a bucket on your head? You gotta move around. That's like Wario something. I don't remember.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You have no idea what I'm talking. Okay, hold on. I'll look it up on the side while you move on to the next point. I'm not making this up.
All right. I believe you.
Mole says Mario and Wario.
Thank you. It was. I watched Mole play it. That's where I saw it. Okay. Mario and Wario. Yeah, you guide Mario through a maze because he has a bucket fell on his head because Wario.
I think I've heard of the game, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, let's get that. Let's get that on NSO.
Mecha Dragon says that needs an SNES, a SNES mouse.
You can put a mouse into your dock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot that it needed the mouse.
Yeah, because he was saying which you can't.
Dude, Mario Paint.
Put it on a Switch.
Mario Paint.
You can put a mouse on the Switch, but not the SNES mouse.
It doesn't need the SNES mouse. It just needs normal mouse support will work.
All right. So again, fun with NSO games. It's there. We have a library of classics to go back to. So
that sums up perfectly how I feel about NSO. It's there. You have them if you want. It's such a sampler of retro games. Like you can just go back. You have it, and you can go back and try some of the games. And for me, I don't spend a ton of time on it, but every time something new comes out, I think I'll go. It's like going to Costco or wherever you go, and you go down the aisles, and you're like, there's
give it a try.
I'll give it a try. I'm not gonna commit to this, but then every once in a while, you get something you're like, oh, I gotta have more of that. And so I played through all of Gunstar Heroes, and go back there for my Super Mario World fix, like that sort of stuff.
Right. Yeah, there's going to be things that you're nostalgic for, so you go back to play those, and there's things you never heard of, or some people know it and some people don't. But what I found it useful for is it was an introduction, is a brand new game for our kids. In a lot of cases, starting back with the Virtual Console and then coming up to now, a lot of these games are an introductory to what we used to play. So they're playing it for the first time. It may not grab them, and some of them do. And then it's fun to watch to see which games grab our kids, being parents, if you will.
100%. Yeah.
All right, moving on. We got Bear and Breakfast is delayed due to problems with controls. So it was originally planned to be released next week, but now there is no release window. So it must have been pretty bad. It's totally said, oh, we're not going to make release date, which is next week. And this was announced last week, I think.
Yeah,
before the show.
Yeah, so it would have been supposed to be this week. I think this was originally developed for the mobile game. Okay. And then when they started they added the controller support later in development, so it'll work on Switch and other consoles, and it's not doing what they want it to do apparently.
Right. Yeah, and that's unfortunate, and I don't know how small that development team is. It must be too small to be able to knock it out before the release date. I'm trying to see when that release date was, because I saw it on the calendar. And here it is.
This got a lot of publicity for a little indie title. I'm
July
I'm
28th,
surprised.
I'm seeing here for PC at least.
I'm surprised how much attention it got, because I've seen that news coverage a lot where people are like, Bear and Breakfast is delayed. So I guess it's a
it's a
bigger
game everybody was looking forward to. Apparently,
I
it
guess
does
so.
look like it would be geared towards that large audience or that large Animal Crossing audience, if you will. So, and that might be why it got a lot of attention.
True.
Yeah, it was 7/28, so it would have been next week. So maybe I
Yep.
worded it next week, knowing when we would be talking about it.
Okay. Yep. So it's still coming out for PC. It looks like, because it's still on the calendar for PC, but not on
But
for
you're
the Switch.
But you, listener, you're not playing games over on PC. Don't do that. Wait for it to come to Switch. Come on. Just kidding. You can play games wherever you want to play them.
And there's
And
a
have a
couple
good time.
dads here that actually play a couple PC games here and there. So
I'm very hypocritical because I play.
Well, there you
PC.
go. But we're a Nintendo podcast show. It's two of them here, so it's got to be Nintendo, right? So that's what you're trying to say.
That's
All right.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to help the Nintendo Dads brand. This ain't no PC dads. No.
It's whatever. We've grown to where it's just could be Nintendo dads or non-Nintendo dads.
For me, so on that topic, for me, if a game is coming on Switch and PC, like multi-platform, I almost always, especially on indie titles like this one, I'm almost always going to gravitate towards Switch. But It is a bummer when it isn't like day and date, same launch.
Right.
And you sort of miss out on those. But I'm stubborn. I'm not going to buy your game if it's not on Switch.
Yes.
So,
yeah, especially if it comes out, say, 4 months later. It'll be full price on Switch, but Steam might already have it down to 75% on a sale.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why would I spend $20 when I can buy it for $4?
Hey, you're paying for the convenience fee of being able to have it portably.
And also because it would actually, I don't know, is it cheaper to buy them on Switch on a cheaper device than it is to buy it on Steam and get a Steam Deck?
Hey, that's true.
I don't know. Someone do the math. Someone do the math.
So maybe there's some math there.
And make me feel bad about my purchasing decisions.
I know when I built my computer 5 years ago, I probably put $3,500 into it. So that's a lot of games.
That is a lot of games.
All right. Well, your Steam Deck doesn't have Breath of the Wild legally anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say legally. If you stream through YouTube, you'll see people who are showing Breath of the Wild on their Steam Deck.
Last week, I did have a Steam Deck shaped box in my living room for about 4 hours. Because a friend of mine, his delivery came in, but he was out of town at an SCA event, and he goes, "Can you get it off my porch so no one steals it?" And I'm like, yeah, I have it now, but now I look like the porch pirate. Thanks.
Did you wear a black hoodie?
I should have.
Put the hood up.
With a domino mask.
Yeah. Let's make yourself look as sketchy as possible.
Yeah, and we had somebody in the community reach out to me saying that they were thinking about not getting the Steam Deck and we're wondering if we would be interested in getting it. So they would still get it, but of course we would have to pay for it once they got it. So because they were ahead of the line, and I was like, oh, it's so tempting. But then I took too long to answer, and they decided to get it anyways because they were like, oh no, I'm just gonna get it. But we'll see. They said they would reach out to me if they decide they don't like the device or something, or try it out and whatever. So we'll see. I like mobile technology, so I'm so tempted to myself, but I did not put a pre-order in for that thing.
Yeah, I said I was on the fence of getting a Steam Deck, but I just probably would never use it. So I'm like, that's a lot of money to throw into, I've bought other devices that I've never used, but they've never been $800 devices.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know how anybody has time to be multi-system. I really only have time to play on one, and Switch is where that's going to be because it's got my favorite games on it. and
And
it's
that's a
just
good
so
argument for that. So anybody who's thinking about multiple systems, you got to keep that in mind.
Mhm.
Andross makes a good point there.
Like if you're going like, why are you playing Switch, or why are you only playing Xbox? Why are you only playing on PC? I mean, you just gotta think like
The time.
yeah, like limited time. There's a lot of games. I
Yes.
mean,
Your response is, why are you only playing one game for 7 months?
Yes.
I feel a little called out now. All right.
There are factors for everything, so for sure we know people in the community who aren't able to buy multiple systems and stuff like that just because it's not financially feasible
Switch
for
is
them.
fantastic. Switch is a
So-
fantastic system. It's my favorite. It's the best. It's the best looking, in my opinion. It's best one. But
It's
the
the flexibility behind that system is, I think, a good argument behind why that would be a good device to be your only device.
Infrendo has a
gaming
new
device.
idea for a 2-pack amiibo. Robo Jesse and Porch Pirate Jesse.
Nice. That would be fun to see. All right. Next up in the news, the final game for the Jackbox Party Pack 9 has been announced, which is Quicksort. Quicksort.
Yeah,
Pronounced Quicksort. Sorry, Quicksort.
Quicksort, but it's spelled
Quicksort.
Quixort.
Yes.
It's kind of a game where you get these events thrown at you in rapid fashion, and you're supposed to put them in chronological order.
Interesting.
I've seen tabletop games like this with like real historical events, but
Okay.
I'm sure this is going to have the Jackbox humor added to it.
I wonder how that plays out on mobile. Maybe it all comes out on the mobile screen too. So that makes sense. Just lag is what I wonder about. Anytime there is with that game.
Well, they've had a lot of practice with these mobile games, so they're pretty good with lag.
9 tries, right? So
Yeah.
Andross, you into the party pack? The Jackbox games?
100%. They're fantastic games. I recommend picking them up. Not all games are created equal in the Jackbox
Right. Yeah.
family of games.
There's usually at least one miss in every pack, but there's usually one banger in every pack too, which makes it worth it.
I think it would be awesome if they had a pool of their party pack games, their Jackbox games, and you could just go pick out like however many you get in a pack.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get the the case that you can go pick out like maybe 10 games or something like that you can buy.
Or just have one big Jackbox app and every game is DLC to it.
Or that. And then you can have every single one that you want. Yes, makes sense.
I recommend these for anybody looking for like a family game to play with non-gamers. So like this was like the Christmas thing for us when going and visiting the in-laws, because everybody could do it. All you need is a phone, and so like everybody could play it and felt like on an even playing field. And this one, Fibbage 4, that's going to be a fantastic game. So you're getting at least one really good one, and the rest of these look like they're going to be really good as well. So
Mole says they do sell some of them a la carte.
Mm-hmm.
Like he picked up Drawful 2 on a 99-cent sale, but the problem is now you for every solo game you get, it's a separate app on your device.
Mm-hmm.
I would like it all in one app.
Yes. Maybe after 10 or at 10, maybe they do something like that.
So you're talking like what was that? There was like a retro arcade where you bought, you downloaded the app and then you bought the games inside it. Like that would actually make a lot of sense.
The Capcom Arcade Collection does that.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So the Jackbox app, and you go in there, and as these party packs come out, you can just get them and they get added to the whole list.
They could call it the Jackbox box.
The box. Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. You could even have like a little shelf, and it puts it all on the shelf, and you get to select it like board games. Oh, Jackbox, free idea for you.
I would definitely do it. I'd buy into that for sure. All right, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga Collection release date announced. Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. will be the systems that it comes to for $40 USD on August 30th. So what do you guys think? You guys, with all the hype behind the Ninja Turtles game with the Shredder's Revenge, we now get the original games coming in the Cowabunga Collection.
But they're twice the price, right? Wasn't Shredder's Revenge 20?
Yeah, but that's one game. This is like 15 games.
But they're like 15 games that are like 15 years old. What are they do? What are they doing?
So
this should have been the
buy
same
it
price.
On day one. Wait till
100%.
Yeah.
It's gonna go down in price.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
this is a
excited for
Konami
it.
game. This is not a Nintendo game, so yeah, I'm sure it'll get bargain binned at some point.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm
Just
excited
like the
for
other
it. It's
collections.
a fantastic collection of games. They're all really fun games, really, really great. And if you are new to Ninja Turtles through Shredder's Revenge, this will be a great way to go back and kind of see the roots.
See where it all came from, right?
And get
And by the
frustrated
way-
at the NES game all over again.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, why is it $40? Inflation. No.
That's a lot of quarters.
Bummer, man.
Cowabunga. Yes, bummer. Definitely. All right. Last in the news of games announced, Legend of Heroes Trials from Zero coming to Nintendo Switch on September 27th. No price was announced yet, but I added this because I thought Jesse might be interested in this. So
Like, I know nothing about this. So
it's an RPG game, and it looks a lot like some of the Final Fantasy games, or even Dragon's Quest games.
are all the Trials games like in a franchise?
Yes.
Because I've heard of the Trials.
The Legend of Heroes games. And they call them Trials of something.
Trails from Zero.
Sorry, Trails.
Trails.
Yes.
Okay.
You're probably mixing up with like Trial of Mana.
Trails.
Yeah.
I missed
my
AIL
versus
I and A and is in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Trails
Dyslexia
from
Dads
Zero.
episode.
Yes.
Okay, this is weird. Okay, so I clicked on the link you provided in the notes, which is okay. It is I thought it was a Nintendo.com link, but no, it is a Legend of Heroes link. So never mind. Because I'm like, why is it mentioning PlayStation 4? But that explains it.
Yep. So
Okay,
it is another RPG game coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, Japanese audio with English subs, so there's no dubs. I know that's a stickler for a lot of people, but for me, it's probably better this way.
It is an interesting art style to this game. I haven't seen this one before. It looks like
let me. I'm gonna post the link in our chat.
it's kind of got the 2D HD thing going on, but they're more like low poly DS models instead of pixel art. Yeah, interesting.
I'm gonna put this over at Restream. Just
Trails of Cold Steel. Yeah, there's like 3 of them on the Switch now.
I used Restream to post the link so that make sure it goes over to all the channels. So if you're watching us live, it should be there, and it's in our notes. So Jesse, I don't know if we can put it in anywhere else, but we'll have it in a Discord too.
Join the Discord.
I'll have to watch this trailer later and see.
Okay.
But
this trail.
Yes.
Andross, before we leave this section, is there any news that I might have missed that you want to talk about?
Oh man, on the spot.
Just
Monkey Thunder, where are you? That's Monkey Thunder's like our resident news expert for the Nintendo pals.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Other than, they have been regularly updating the Nintendo icons that you can spend those silver coins
points
to platinum points to get those icons, and those have been shuffling quite a bit, and there's been some very cool ones.
New Kirby ones are coming in waves. Of course, they just announced the new waves of Kirby ones, and then they got the latest release for the Odyssey coins. So lots of new stuff updated there. So do you like the NSO stuff there with that? with
I
the
do.
coins and the
for a
updating your
bit-
icon and stuff.
For a bit, I was like, oh, I want to collect all of these, but I don't use them. I just use my me. I'm too me obsessed.
What I would like to see them do is I don't like it how it's like you can only mix and match in that one game. I want them
100%,
to
yes.
be able to let me use all the parts from any of the game series to make my own icon.
Yes, you should be able to take a background from Mario Odyssey, take your Kirby from Kirby, and then do a border that's Animal Crossing. Why not?
Perfect.
Why restrict that? Like, oh, they have to all be like that's like giving a kid a coloring book and forcing them to use the correct colors in the correct lines. No, you can't. Nope. Right. Don't color outside that box. No.
When I was a kid, I remember seeing a coloring book like that. It was basically like a water. You just touched it with water. It was little water inks. So you just basically colored it to the color it wanted it.
Yes.
I thought that was interesting at the time, but now I think it's a ridiculous idea.
Yeah, that's no fun. That's no fun. I really like that idea, Tim. I've wanted that basically since they started, especially since they added the backgrounds and borders as separate things. Because I like using.
I agree. I thought the whole point of the mix and match was to make unique combinations, but I didn't know that they were restricting them because, of course, I never use the stuff.
It's restricted per.
I mean,
game,
but you
so
if it wasn't restricted, I would use it. I would definitely go like, oh, I'm really into playing Breath of the Wild right now, so I'm going to put the Great Plateau background with my me icon because I like the me icon. I feel like it gives personality, connects my profile with me as a person. But I mean, I could put a Link icon on there and do that, but I just feel like I want to have a character I like with a background that's different. I don't know why that's
doable. So Doug, make sure you write that one down and get it back to your R&D department. So
speaking of Doug, I do have one more news thing that I thought was interesting. A king-sized King of the Koopas Lego.
Yes.
Yeah, like a big.
You got that, Drew? It's
a big Bowser. A big Bowser.
I don't think Andross understands the joke, but
I know. I'm just gonna. If it involves Drew, I'm just gonna bowl right over it.
Nothing dirty. It was just that he misunderstood a question in the Dads After Dark show trivia.
Oh yeah, I missed that. Sorry. No, it's nothing dirty. Sorry, Drew. Sorry to assume, but I feel like that's a little warranted.
There are parts of that trivia though that were dirty, so that's understandable.
No,
because it is Dads After Dark.
The news item is that the king. I feel bad now. I'm sorry, Drew. The king size statue of Bowser is going to be at I believe San Diego Comic-Con, and
that's this weekend, right?
That's this weekend. So you can go. You can see a little video of it. It was huge. That's the Bowser.
14 feet tall.
Mm-hmm. That's the Bowser. What are they going to do with this?
And it has moving parts. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like over 600,000 bricks.
Yep.
So at like 9 cents a brick, that's like $7,000.
I would think that's going to either end up somewhere Lego or somewhere Nintendo.
Like at the Nintendo store? That seems like a display piece of the Nintendo store.
Either there or at one of the parks.
Locked in their vault.
Or there.
For preservation that you can't see.
It's going to be right over there with the Wii eShop. Bowser right next to that. Yeah, so I thought that was really cool. You can see a little video of it online if you're interested.
That is very cool. And especially if you're a Lego fan. A huge version.
How long did it take for someone to build that?
Oh, we were talking about, I wonder how much that one would cost if we knew how many bricks there were.
Yeah, I think
we could use Jesse's formula.
Jesse said like $7,000, right?
Around there. It was. Okay. I heard the number of the bricks. It was, I think, like 680,000 or something.
And they're like 9 cents a brick. Yeah.
Yes.
So
I don't want to get into price. I don't want to get into price on Lego. My opinion on that is salty.
Inflation.
Of course, they don't have to pay retail price for their bricks. They pay their wholesale price.
So that's true.
Whatever that is.
Like 1 cent.
Probably.
It's plastic. It doesn't cost that much to produce that. But whatever.
They got it down to science. I'm sure it's really efficient. So All right. Well, that's the end of the news. Thanks, Andross, for bringing the last couple bits of news there. Let's move on to our ad break from Justin.
Hey folks, support of today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Now, it's officially summertime and everybody's talking about looking good for those warm months, but few have the balls to do it. Well, folks, it's time to nut up or shut up and take the easiest steps to looking absolutely sexy this summer by using Manscaped. Now, Manscaped's ultra smooth package makes sure that you have the proper care for down there, and their Boxers 2.0 gives you the perfect stage for showing off the new look. These products make sure you look hot, but your cleanly shaved nether regions will keep you looking cool. And the Boxers 2.0 patents dual pouch technology keeps your boys from turning into beach balls in the swampy days. Now dive headfirst into the summer by joining over the 5 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and use the code NINDADS, NINDADS at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. Again, that code is NINDADS, NINDADS for 20% off and free shipping. Folks, it's summertime. You got to look good. You got to look good. Manscaped has got you covered. Whether it is, of course, their Lawnmower 4.0, helping shave off the body hair like I talked about earlier, whether it is their mister to kind of keep you nice and clean and fresh, whether it's their fantastic ball deodorant or just under the arm deodorant, they have got the right products for you to feel confident and comfortable this summer so that when you're over at the beach or you're outside a pool party or a barbecue, you're feeling great, you're feeling comfortable, you're feeling confident. And that's really what Manscaped does so well. So again, use that code NINDADS, NINDADS for 20% off and free shipping when you head over to manscaped.com. Big thanks to Manscaped for their continuous support of our show. Hey guys, back to you.
Excellent. I was expecting more, but that was great. Thanks, Justin, for the ad break.
We were expecting more. I feel like Justin went pretty all in on that one.
Right. I don't know. I'm last couple
that's
weeks,
a different podcast.
Yeah. Yes.
I actually have my Manscaped crop preserver down at my desk. It's this, it's my emergency.
Gotta have it nearby. That's right.
Smelly good stuff.
I got my chapstick of the Manscaped
Blasted myself right in the face with it.
There.
It smells really good. It smells very good.
Yeah, it does.
Definitely recommend.
Look at that lip balm. There we go. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for the ad read, Justin. Let's move on to our discussion and our guest spotlight.
Do it.
All right.
Forgot to say the do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a couple things to discuss, and one of them is you, Andross, because you're a guest tonight, and we take this time to go over what you guys are doing over at Nintendo Pals, and also the topic that you brought. So, but first of all, let's talk about a little bit about the Nintendo Pals by asking you some questions. Are you ready,
okay,
sir?
I that's good. I don't have to prepare something. You got questions.
All right. So you and Micah just did a 24-hour stream, and Nintendo Pals will be celebrating its 100th episode soon. How are you feeling about that? And where are you at on what you want out of the show? Is it everything you dreamed?
It is beyond what I could have dreamed possible. Well, I can dream pretty big, and I continue to dream pretty big on what we do over at Nintendo Pals. Yeah, I feel great. Episode 100, that's a big deal. Triple digits. I mean, right? You guys, that's easy stuff for you guys. I mean, you're in the triple digits. Well, that's not right, but you're in 300s.
We'll be here for a while.
How many episodes? What episode number
384.
Okay, yeah. We're in the 300s here. So, I mean, this is 3 times that. But yeah, it's super cool. We are having a blast. I'm amazed that people listen to us every week. And
isn't that wonderful?
I'm very thankful to the amazing audience and support that we have over there. And a lot of that is crossover with the Nintendo Dads community. You guys inspired us to start our show. And so, I mean, this is how I take compliment type things. Just deflect it back. But the Nintendo Dads are like a huge inspiration to us.
This is going to be all about Nintendo Pals. So to quit deflecting, because we're going to be talking about all the stuff you guys are doing over there.
Yeah.
Such as your creativity you guys have over there. One of the things I love is just how all the different stuff you guys do on your streams. Like, the playing with your nose, and the HUD gets crazy and your speed runs and my favorite.
He means he's using his nose on a controller, not
yes.
I'm like,
not shoving a finger up it.
Hey, it's so fun.
Yes.
Real life WarioWare.
Thanks for clarifying that, Jesse.
Yeah,
but
no,
my favorite
through.
streams are you mowing the lawn.
Oh,
those are my favorite.
I feel like there's opportunity here. That's such a dad thing to do. I mean, I'm a dad, so makes sense. But I feel like if you guys can jump in. Lawn mowing streams are not exclusive to Nintendo Pals. Let's get a Tim mowing stream.
It's like the first time you guys did that, and just you figuring out everything you had to do in order to do that. Your first time you got it done, and then the second time you had a backpack, you had the camera sticking out of it.
I know we're considering purchasing a harness that I like wear on my chest that will stabilize. Yeah, we do crazy stuff, and I love that. I want to do fun things, and Micah helps rein that in because
he's like, no, we can't do that. We don't have that budget.
The yin and the yang. Yeah. To Nintendo Pals is I'm the crazy, exciting, like, let's do this thing, and Micah's like, maybe let's not do that because that sounds actually kind of awful. But no, we have a lot of fun, and he does a lot of really cool stuff on his streams as well. I mean, this is he's the guy that beat Metroid Dread without collecting any missiles or energy tanks. Who does that? That's insane. So yeah, we have a lot of fun over there. We do, in addition to our podcast, our weekly podcast, which is kind of where everything started for Nintendo Pals. We now do bi-week, 3 times a week we stream, and then we try and put out regular videos on our YouTube channel that are gaming related, and we do like challenge streams and stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Is this where I thought we would be at this point? I didn't really think oh yeah, where are we going to be at episode 100? But it is very cool to see how
you're just kind of letting it go naturally wherever it goes.
Yeah, I
that sounds bad, but
I absolutely was and shocked at how much it has grown, because if you look at when we first started and we had 2 listeners a week, thanks Mom, appreciate that. And who am I kidding? My mom wasn't listening to the show either. To where we're at now, and we're averaging several hundred per episode and thousands of downloads per month. It's very cool. It's very cool to see that growth. That wasn't our intention exactly, to go, oh, we're gonna get huge and popular. And I wouldn't say we're huge and popular, but I did look up the statistics, and we are ranked as the 208,000th and 305th streamer on Twitch. So
you're moving up.
Which you think wow, that's pretty far back there, but apparently that's the top 3%. We're in the top 3%.
Congratulations.
I'm gonna look up where you guys are at, and after I'll do that when I'm not answering questions. But
that sounds like post-show material.
Post-show
material.
Tuned for post-show for that. Yeah,
you guys are probably even higher than we are. You got to be. So yeah,
it's
a lot
surprised, I'm sure, because we don't do as scheduled stuff as much as you guys do. So
yeah, Thursday nights is all the scheduling we get.
We don't have consistency other than that. So, but
that's dad life, man. I'm there. I'm sure the audience is yep, totally get it.
So you have a obvious love for Nintendo. What are you looking forward to the most from Nintendo? Whether they announced it or it hasn't been announced.
Breath of the Wild 2. Easy.
Okay.
Easy.
That was easy.
Oh yeah. Our most streamed game is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and that is all me. I stream that so much. I love that game. It is my favorite game of all time.
Tim streamed it there the other day too.
I know. I missed the ending. I'm so upset. I got to go back and watch the VOD still. But I gave you a big shout out on
Yes.
Twitter and commented on all that stuff because I was like, man, I've been pestering Tim forever. Congratulations, you beat it before my son.
Before your son, but there's other kids that I didn't beat it before, so
Yeah.
not a big deal.
And my son's 5, so I mean,
he was getting there. He's getting there.
He really is, man. He's like, he says that's his favorite game. I've like a little bit of that's. Yeah, but my wife's playing it. We're all playing Breath of the Wild right now, and it is. I just love that game. I feel like I was listening to a We the Gamercast with Sean Capri, mutual friend of the show here, and
he was here earlier. I don't know if he still is, but he was in the chat.
Hi, Sean. He was talking with his guest about like, is it okay to call a game as new as Breath of the Wild like the greatest game of all time? And I'm just gonna come out here and say, heck yeah, we can. That's the best game ever made. I don't care what anybody else thinks or says. That's the best game ever made. I love it. Super fun. And even though it's like, you could say recency bias, it's been out for 5 years. Like, I feel like recency bias may have worn off just a bit. So I'm very excited for Breath of the Wild 2. That's what I'm trying. All this talk around to get to. Breath of the Wild 2 is my most anticipated thing. And even if it is the same game again, I'm going to love it. So there's not really, I don't think there can be any wrong done.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Knock
I'm more excited. I'm more
everybody
excited about
knock
it now.
on wood.
I'm more excited about it now that I finished the game. So that's why I wanted to do that when we were originally thought it was coming out this year. And that's why it was on my roadmap to do anyways. And I thankfully had the community to help push me to do that. So keep me motivated and all that. So I thank everybody for that. And I joke around being frustrated sometimes about it. Like they won't leave me alone, but really it was a great motivator to get it done. So
you're next, Justin.
Justin's a lot closer than I was.
Seriously, just finish it, man.
He's got all the divine beasts. So
he's over here going, I feel so mad about Nintendo. I don't know what to play. Play some Zelda, man.
We'll talk about Justin in just a moment. But before we get to that point, I wanted to ask you also, similar to this question, but what would make you the happiest Nintendo fan in the world? Would it be just Breath of the Wild 2, or is there something else that would make you the most happiest Nintendo fan in the world?
Man, maybe I'm just easy to please here. I'm trying to think like what could make me happier. Maybe a special edition Zelda Switch OLED.
Okay.
Switch OLED, that's Zelda edition, or maybe the Switch Pro. I'm sick of those. I'm sick of those rumors. I don't want to hear about Switch Pro. Yeah. I think maybe finding out that it's going to be a trilogy, and there's going to be a third game that comes out after.
That would be something for sure.
That would make me very excited, and that it's ready. That would make me very excited.
That would be ready.
So that's why it's taking 6 years to make this game.
There you go. They had to split it up to make it a trilogy.
They're actually making 2.
That would be something else.
I don't know. Maybe another Odyssey game. I'm very happy with the library on the Switch as is.
I'm sorry. I need to go back to that possibility of them coming out and announcing here is Breath of the Wild 2 in the title. But not only that, from a year from now, we will release Breath of the Wild 3 here in its title. And that's what we've been working on. Is this
just a spoof on what Square Enix is doing with Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Exactly.
I am okay with it.
But
if it's
still,
Breath of the Wild, man.
Crazy.
You give me all the spin-offs. Give me all the games. Yeah.
And people would probably complain. Probably about that anyway.
But
so
those people would be wrong. That's
they're just wrong already.
They're just wrong.
So
I've had lots of discussions where people are like, Breath of the Wild's not my favorite. And they'll just be like so meh towards it. And I'm like, man, it's okay to be wrong. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who dropped you on your head when you were little?
Who
That's
hurt
not
you?
quite how I put it.
Who hurt you? Why are you emotionally damaged? No.
I think who hurt them was Miyamoto, and releasing every other Zelda game before that. That's the problem.
Oh, dare him not
Nothing
release a game that
nothing
isn't
will ever be
written
as
yet.
good as XYZ Zelda game I played when I was a kid. I'm like, okay,
Well, it's true. Nostalgia
Force Heroes.
holds a lot of weight for a lot of
Does.
people, including myself.
Yeah,
So-
I feel sorry for those whose Triforce Heroes was their first Zelda game.
they're out there. Those guys are like, when are we going to get the Triforce Heroes sequel we've been waiting for?
That
They're
is
right
fair.
behind. They're right behind the like 3 F-Zero people that are left. Waiting for
Well,
a
I was gonna
sequel.
say your son, being that Breath of the Wild is his favorite game, is probably gonna be his favorite game for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
No game that's gonna knock it off its pedestal, or there might be some that come close, but that nostalgia is going to weigh heavily on that decision if he, talks about it when he gets older. But anyways, the other
Tim. Okay,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I just had an epiphany of what would make me the happiest
Okay, great.
Nintendo fan. It's co-op multiplayer. That's what would make me the happiest fan. Is Breath of the Wild 2 is co-op multiplayer.
Oh,
somebody is-
Triforce
somebody's-
Heroes mode.
No, I don't want to
Somebody
get
is
that out of
linking
here.
one is
How
Zelda.
about Four Swords? Four Swords has a better street
go.
cred, but you could play. Someone could play as another
Zelda?
Link. No, you do the Four Swords thing. Like,
Okay.
hey, blue, red, purple Link, and they all just play. It can be a single player experience or a co-op experience.
Maybe
Or
one of
different
them's Linkle.
versions of Link.
I am
from
seriously
different time periods
right now looking into like getting a modded version of like my Wii, like getting a modded Wii U, and or like looking at like modding Switches, because there's a multiplayer mod for Breath of the Wild that is in beta and will be launching later this summer. And I'm like,
Wow.
I don't care how, I gotta play it. even if it, yeah. So that's like, that would be so cool. An officially sanctioned thing by Nintendo that makes it a multiplayer game. Oh, that would be peak Nintendo right there.
So multiplayer meaning cooperative story, or being able to play together and explore in the world, like almost an MMO type thing, I guess.
If it was cooperative
Not
story,
MMO.
either
MMO?
either
Yeah.
or,
Yes.
and
Yes.
both. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
any of that, I'd be okay with any sort of
That would
multiplayer
be something
experience.
else, for
Would
sure.
be so cool.
Let me flip the question here for you. What do you think Micah would want, or be the happiest Nintendo fan in the world about?
Metroid Prime 4 now. That's all we need for Micah to be the happiest Nintendo fan in the world. And here's the thing is we get this a lot. We're like, wow, you guys are so positive, because we're always excited, even when there's like games that aren't coming out that aren't necessarily for us. And that's because it's exciting still when Nintendo is releasing new stuff.
Yes.
Like, I'm not a Xenoblade guy. I haven't played the Xenoblade games, but I'm pumped for that one to come out, because I know there are so many people that are super hyped and it looks good. I can admire that games look great and look fun, but might not be my thing.
Mhm.
I'm not saying Xenoblade isn't. I'm on the fence, maybe be giving this one a try, but I don't know. It's there's always something to be excited about for me.
It
And
makes
that's-
sense. And I think
yeah.
when we talk about Justin's meh feelings about last week, we'll be
We're
talking about those
we're
in a-
here. We're now. He had his episode, and then
Yes.
now there's the Tim Jesse episode rebuttal, and then next week it'll be a
Well,
solo.
he's got a
Justin.
response for
No,
us
he's
too,
already
by the way.
he's already got a clip coming up.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about that shortly.
I'm excited.
But he
It's
was
like-
talking about
it's like
waves,
internal.
right? Seasons. He was talking about seasons and stuff, about how everybody feels about Nintendo and about the games coming out, or just games in general. And I think that your wave or season is going to be in sync with other people and will not be in sync with other people. So
Mhm.
you guys are very positive about everything going on. And then, of course, when you've been into it for a long time, there's going to be people who are not in sync, or like Justin, who is just like not feeling the games right now. So,
Yeah.
but we'll talk about that more when we get there later. I wanted to bring up one other thing because you guys recently talked about Nintendo ice cream flavors that you guys created, right? In your last episode 99, I think it was. So we decided to create Nintendo Pals ice cream flavors. I created 2. And I want to know if you guys or the community would eat these ice cream flavors based on the Nintendo Pals. The first one is 2 turntables and a mica cookie. That is crunchy chocolate chip cookies in a vanilla ice cream and cookie dough swirl throughout.
Micah would hate that.
Okay.
Micah wouldn't eat that, but I would love that. That would be awesome.
What part of that
That
does he
sounds
not
delicious.
like?
He's not a fan of cookie dough. He doesn't like the gooey.
What's wrong with
stuff.
him?
He'll get the he'll go for like the extra crunchy stuff.
Okay.
So
well, it is crunchy chocolate. chip
What's
cookies
wrong
in
with
there.
him, Jesse? I ask myself that every week. We have to record our episodes together.
All right, and the other flavor is Andross to the Reese's. Now, see, it's a play on words here. And off to the races.
Oh,
Andross to the Reese's.
Okay.
2 ice cream flavors: Reese's peanut butter.
Yeah, but if you have to explain the joke.
Yeah, I mean, it may be how it's spelled. If I saw it, then I'd get it.
It's 2 ice cream flavors: Reese's peanut butter ice cream and chocolate ice cream, twisted together with Reese's pieces racing throughout.
Tim, why doesn't this exist? I would eat that for sure. I would happily eat an Andross to the Reese's. Heck yeah, sign me up. That sounds awesome.
I used to work for Baskin Robbins a long time ago. It was my first job, so I had to do an ice cream thing. So
I remember we talked about this.
Yes,
because that was my first job as well.
That's right. I forgot about that. So
Baskin Robbins.
I had to mention that. So, all right. We have questions from the community, but that will be later.
Wait, so we're just gonna end with those flavors. Wait,
Yes.
what about the Nintendo Dads flavors? I feel like
there's no
there has
Nintendo
to
Dads
be.
flavors. This is Nintendo Pals focused. So before we move on to
Community, come up with stuff. Post it in Discord.
I'm sure people will come up with ideas probably by tomorrow.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get something, I'm sure.
Get us our Robo Jesse flavored ice cream.
Before we move on to Justin's rebuttal to his meh feelings and the community's response to that, and we'll discuss that in a minute, I do want to cover your topic, Andross, which you brought, which was about speed runs and challenge runs and using that to give new life to old games.
Yeah.
So can you give us, the listeners, an example of what you're talking about? Well, a lot of your streaming is that example, but go ahead and let's talk about it.
I've been really into this, not only as like as a consumer, like what I watch in creators, but in making content myself, and in just how I play games off air. And that is this idea of challenge runs. Speed running and challenge runs are ways that you can play games again in new ways that make it fun. And there's so much variety that you can put into these types of things that you can really, really give life to games that should be done. And this is why you see in the speedrunning community games like Mario Bros, Mario 64, any Zelda game, almost any Mario game, a lot of these games that just stay around and stay popular in, I'd say it's still kind of niche, but it's getting huge. I mean, speedrunning's getting very big. And then
is this why people are continuing to buy these games, and that's why they're always at the top of the list, because they want to be part of these communities?
And you see this with games like GTA 5, which is like the best-selling game ever. Minecraft speedrunning blew up this last year. And I would think like that's not a game that would be fun to speedrun. It's too random, but it's actually very fun and enjoyable to watch. But I tend to focus more on the challenge run type things, which I guess you could equate sort of to like achievements in games.
Okay.
For example, I'm a big fan of Spelunky and Spelunky 2. Spelunky kind of comes in with built-in achievements that essentially give you challenge runs. Hey, beat the game, but don't collect any money. Can you do it? And you'll get this achievement. And that's like a challenge run that you're playing through the game a completely different way than you play through it normally. Or now, okay, do the same thing, but collect all the money. Can you get to 1 million coins before you beat the game? And so right there, that's one game and 3 different ways to play. You just play through it normal, or you could play no money. You could play all the money. They have an achievement for Spelunky, which is like beat the game in less than 10 minutes. And then,
wow,
like you can take principles like that and then apply them to every game. You go like, I wonder if I can beat Mario Bros without collecting any coins. Is that possible? I mean, there's tons of videos out there. Yeah, on a lot of them, it is, and it's pretty cool what people will try and do. Hey, I want to get to the end, but never push left. And
right,
for me, this has kind of kept games
like the people are figuring out how to play Mario 64 with jumping as minimally as possible, and many stages can be done with no A presses.
Yep. I watched an entire video, which was a TAS, a tool assisted speed run, meaning like programmed to not actually played by a person. And
oh, sorry, I have to read this real quick because in the chat, Chris HL said, "How do you speed run Minecraft?" And Butternogs23 said, "Turn it off as fast as you can to play an actual game."
Whoa! Shots fired! Shots fired. Tell me what actual game you're playing. Tell me. You tell me. No, I completely got derailed on my train of thought there. I don't even know what I was talking about. I had to
read that real quick.
But the idea of doing challenge runs and then like thinking outside the box. I saw a video of someone speed running Mario Odyssey, and every 5 minutes they added a new HUD element to the screen. And I was like, hey, I am a Zelda Breath of the Wild speedrunner. I'll do the same thing, but on Zelda. And it was so fun. It's just genuinely fun to play games with these like different ways to play. And so if there's a game that you really enjoy and you want to give it some new life, I recommend looking up go to speedrun.com, check out speed runs of the game, but there's also like category extensions and different communities built around, hey, what are some like different ways we can play this? I was talking that connected me back here to the task run, minimum A presses for Mario Bros, and like how few jumps can you do and beat the game? How few captures can you get in Mario Odyssey and still be able to beat the game? There's just fun ways that kind of make you think outside the box and how you play, and maybe you can learn some. It's easier than you think to play these games that way, and I think it's a lot of fun. I think a lot of people look at that and go, that's too hard. I'm not going to be doing any speedrunning stuff. But there are glitchless speedruns where you're not doing any tricky stuff. You're just playing at maximum power capacity. And it's super fun, and it's a fun community to get into. I highly recommend checking it out if you feel like you're maybe stagnant on gaming or low on the budget and don't want to be buying all the new games, the new stuff coming out.
That's a great point.
Replay an old game with a new challenge.
It makes sense, and that's a good point, especially for those people who like to do those challenge things, but the game doesn't have a built-in challenge system.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mario Bros doesn't have no built-in challenge system.
So other people found a way, and then it's good they have a website for that. So, and communities that do that. So that's awesome.
So I'll give a list of examples that I personally have done. I did Breath of the Wild, but every 5 minutes I add a new HUD element to the screen. Beating the Great Plateau with my nose. I strapped the controller to like that
was funny.
A selfie stick and played with only my nose. Like is it possible? Like these are the like things that I try to do. I did one where I was like, I'm gonna cook every meal in the game, and I'm gonna beat the game with only bow and arrow. That I won't use any other weapon. So I just do a lot of stuff like that, and that maybe that influences why it's my favorite game of all time, because you can do things like that and have a blast with it. But I don't know. Have either of you guys done challenge runs in any capacity or tried speed running?
I am a lousy game player, and I have a hard time playing games the way they were designed, much less differently. Like
I mean,
so,
Nose was definitely not the way Zelda was designed.
Yeah.
I'll throw that in there.
Yeah, so and I get frustrated in games relatively quick and stop playing them. So there's a lot of games I only played 5 to 10 hours and then stopped. So, but I think the closest I've come to this type of thing is like NES Remix. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yes.
And
That
at
was
least
like
at least
exactly
that-
this.
At least that was like a curated game mods by Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, I got frustrated. Like, play Donkey Kong with Link, aka you can't jump. So I'm like, no, I don't think I can do this.
That's there's some crazy stuff out there too. Like there's a whole like speedrun zone for playing Link to the Past and Super Metroid. It like links them together. So when you go through, you can get items from one game and the other. It's very cool, very fun to watch.
Nice.
How about you, Tim? You done any challenge run, speed run type stuff?
My answer is probably going to be the same along the same lines as Jesse here. It's like I'm not that skilled of a player.
See,
Although
that's what I'm saying. Everybody says it's too hard. It's not.
I was
it
gonna
really
say
isn't.
I do enjoy achievement runs or trying to get achievements, especially if it's a game I really enjoy. And I think we'll kind of talk about that later in one of the games I was playing. But that game has to really grab me, and it has to be during the time I'm playing it. After I've beaten a game, I've learned over time that I usually don't go back to a game I've already beaten unless it's to get 100% or all the trophies or whatever. And I rarely do that. In fact, I only have one platinum trophy. And if that's PlayStation talk for, usually that's something if you got all of the other trophies and meet all the requirements.
Platinum trophy is you've gotten all of the trophies.
Yeah. So, and you beat the game and all that kind of stuff. So, and that was the game Journey, which is
okay. Yeah.
a really cool game that I loved, and I played it a lot just to get all those trophies and stuff like that. Like I said, I'll be talking about another game later that I may be doing the same thing to, but it's very rare. Like I said, I only have one platinum, and then all the other games I only play to play the story and get the story components, and may not ever go back. Another PlayStation game, as an example, is Infamous and Infamous 2. You can the design of that game is you can pick a path of being bad or good, dark or light, by your choices and the things you do in the game. And depending on what you do, you get certain powers for being, doing good deeds, or you get certain powers for doing bad deeds. And you also finish only you get to see the ending based on that too, whether it was you were a good guy, you get a good guy ending, or if you were a bad guy, you get a bad guy ending. And so when you completed the game, you completed 50% of the game. You still got to see the credits roll, but only for that one particular kind or whatever. And I love Infamous. I love those games. They're on my list of all-time favorites. I've never gone back to play those again just to see the other side of that.
Yeah.
So would I go back to do these achievements? Probably not, unless, again, it is a game that I absolutely love. Like you love Breath of the Wild. Maybe there is a game that I would go back to because of that and do the same things. Like if Journey had those, maybe I would do that. So
I did think of something I tried doing.
Like
So my son has tried some speed running before. Like he's done the Link to the Past glitch where he can roll credits in like 4 or 5 minutes, and and he's done some Mario 64 runs, like 16-star runs, using the back back jump. I forget what they call
Yeah,
it.
the BLJ, the backwards long jump. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a famous one.
He was able to get that, he like 15, 16-minute runs, nowhere near a world record, but he was having fun grinding that. I think the closest thing I've ever done to doing a challenge run, and I probably should try this again sometime, is Pitfall 2 on the Atari 2600.
Yeah, all right.
I tried doing a perfect run, and I streamed it a few years ago, and there was one run I almost did it. There was like one frog I hit like 2 minutes to the end that made me lose points. And if it wasn't for that one frog, I've done it before. I remember doing it when I was a kid, but I haven't done it like in 30 years.
Desi, there's only 4 speed runs for this submitted on speedrun.com. So, I mean,
For Pitfall 2?
You could be top 5. That's all I'm saying. Pitfall 2, Lost Caverns. Yeah, there you go. So the world record is 4 minutes and 9 seconds.
I think my run was more like a 10 to 15 minute run.
But if you submit that, you'd be top 5.
Well, is that a perfect run or is that a speed run with
that's any percent? And there's 100%. There's 100% category, but I don't know what that would even mean for Pitfall 2. You jumped over every pit.
Well, what a perfect run is, or that would probably be the 100% run, is you collect every gold, every treasure, everything you can collect, and you never die. Because when you die, you get warped back to your checkpoint, and you lose points. The longer it takes to get to the checkpoint, the more points you lose. So you don't die. It means you don't ever lose any points. So there is a maximum score.
Yeah, there you go, Jesse. There is no run submitted for that. So there you go.
Really?
None. I'm kind of surprised actually. Maybe I'm looking at like a weird category extension for Pitfall 2, but I don't think so. Boosters, Pitfall 2. Nope. Yeah, it's I think there's a funness that comes to like looking at a leaderboard and seeing different times and like, oh, I wonder where I fall in this. I have not submitted any runs to speedrun.com myself, but I do watch a lot of speedrunners and they do a lot of crazy stuff like, hey, can I beat this game blindfolded? And I just think you just got to find one that's interesting to you on a game that's interesting to you.
I've seen Mike Tyson punch out blindfolded runs.
Yeah, and give it a shot. See, like, oh, I wonder if that's actually possible to do. I did one for Breath of the Wild. I played only with chat. I could only read chat. So people in chat were guiding me on where to go. And I will tell you, like, the sense of accomplishment when you finish one of these is so much greater than what you get from finishing the base game. Like, when I hit the exit of the Great Plateau after that, I just flipped out. I was like, I did it. We did it, guys. We've done it. And it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a junkie for the sense of accomplishment on things that
actually
mean
sounds
nothing.
Exciting and fun for sure. I like those type of things. It's just, I guess your time is limited. Everybody's time is limited too.
That's true.
I'm picking and choosing, I guess, what I do with that time. And that's, I'm moving on to the next game, I guess, moving forward.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying everybody has to do this. I'm just saying, if you're looking for ways to give life to games that you already have that maybe you'd like to go back to and play, but it's just like, I've already done it. This is a way to do that. And it sounds unique.
Like a most fun way to do it. Like a good idea. Great.
Yeah. It's a unique thing to this medium. You can't go back and watch a movie again and really change the experience. I guess you can sort of, but
you can watch a movie blindfolded, but it's not necessarily watching. It's just
blindfolded
listening.
Star Wars run. Here we go. 80% world record. Here I come. There are like certain things I guess you could do to make experiences like that fun, but video games are unique in that they're an interactive medium. Like,
yes,
the way you're talking about video games, Tim, is how I feel about books. I have a very hard time going and rereading a book that I have read before because I'm like, I know what happens. There's not the sense of discovery and accomplishment that I had in reading it the first time.
You
but
read
video
it,
games,
it's great, and move on.
video games at their very core are just built on choice. And so you have the ability to choose to do things differently. And that's just an exciting thing about the medium.
Yep.
Anyways, that's my spiel, my rant on speed running and challenge runs. Maybe it's not for everybody. I'm totally cool with that, but I think
you might have introduced some people to it for sure. So
I think everybody should give it a shot. Watch some runs of games you're interested in, because there are other people out there running it. I mean, except for Pitfall 100%. Pitfall 2 100%. But hey, there were 4 any percent runners, so Jesse's people are out there.
You got some questions in our chat here that I want to get by you real quick.
I know,
too.
I'm like totally ignoring chat because I have it on my phone.
So Andross, Andross, Mike Mecca asks, have you ever seen those randomizers with Super Metroid and Link to the Past?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier with the where they mix them together. So if the actual you go through a room and it will put you into the other game. It's completely randomized. You'll open up a treasure chest. You're like, hey, I as Link, and you get like a Samus upgrade because they're built on the same engine. It's possible to do that. It's insane. I would love to see more games do. I would love to see more games do that exact thing, because those randomizers are really fun. I've seen those for Breath of the Wild has Ocarina of Time. A lot of games do randomizers where they just mix all the inventory and items, and you see, oh, can I beat it if I can't get the things in the right order? And there is a dedicated community of modders and very talented programmers that are putting that stuff together.
Yes, there are, for sure.
Yeah.
Another question was from Chris HL94, who appropriately asks, would you try some NHL 94 challenges? Like, for example, score 100 goals in a game.
In a single game? Maybe, Chris. Maybe I'll try.
So
Chris has been trying to get me to try that game forever.
Yep. So those are the questions there. So great topic, though. I love it. And it doesn't, just because I don't do it doesn't mean I wouldn't do it. Like I said, it could be a game that that I really enjoy and upcoming or whatever, or I want to go back to, or, who knows? And I go and research this and find new ways to play. So it's a great resource, and I'm glad you shared it. Thank you very much. So thinking about this, what you were talking about, new ways of playing old games. You brought this up, actually, this kind of as a way for Justin to look into this, because he was feeling meh about games right now. So I'm not sure if he would, if he responded. I don't remember if he responded or not, but he did respond overall to the community about his solo podcast last week, and how he was talking about how he was feeling mad about games and where he's at right now in regards to video games. Jesse, go ahead.
Hey folks, what is going on? Hey, obviously I'm not on this week's episode, but I just want to kind of like stop in for a moment. Last week, I did an episode 383.5, titled Meh. And I just kind of want to talk a little bit about that, because, so first, full transparency, after I record that episode, I was really questioning whether I should put it out, because I recognize that like the quality of it and kind of where the conversation went for like the last 10 minutes about this like lack of excitement for a Nintendo fan and my kind of like existential crisis I was having was probably not great podcasting material, and more a session I should have with a therapist than anything else. But it was really, really interesting, because I think I put the episode out, we did it, and I was like, I don't know about this. And one of the very first time, or the only times actually, I'll say that in my kind of podcasting time and career that we've done this, that I felt really, I can use the word like vulnerable, and I think exposed and uncomfortable, and really, really thought like, oh man, should we put this out? Because this is not great. And we put it out. And I think sometimes like when a view is polarizing or different than everybody else's view, it creates traction, right? People are like, oh, this is interesting. Let me hear about a Nintendo fan who no longer likes Nintendo or is having this moment. And so we put it out there. And I didn't really know what to expect from it. I'll be very honest with you. And I want to say how very pleasantly surprised I was. I was very shocked, I think is the word, and taken aback by the amount of support and love that I received from everybody. I had people who I got a ton of DMs on Twitter and a ton of Discord DMs and then Discord conversations about, man, I feel you. I hear you. And that's okay. And I just want to say thank you for that. Just the amount of love and support I kind of got. I saw some people I think Justin just needs a hug. Right. But just the amount of people that kind of said, no, that's okay. And it's seasons and don't knock yourself or be upset and like what you like. And you don't have to play these things and just do you. And so it was really comforting to have that kind of response, that kind of love kind of come back and just say no, it's cool. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you to our community and thank you to everyone who kind of rallied around and supported that as well. That was really cool. I would also say a bit of a funny commentary as well. For those of you that don't know, Dads After Dark, they featured as kind of their question block near the end or their conversation. And John and Drew, if you haven't listened to this most recent episode, John and Drew did a great job. And it's near the very end of their show. They talk about my commentary. And it's kind of a meta conversation because they're providing a conversation about a podcast that they're hearing on a podcast forum that I'm now referencing as a podcast. So it's very, snake eating its own tail kind of commentary here. But they kind of did this let's go back and look at Justin's history of what kind of games does he play and how many hours does he put in and what's his experience and what does he seem to be attracted to in regards to games? What kind of gamer is he? And it was a really interesting experience to sit back and listen. And also how weirdly, almost privacy invasioning it is when they're oh, he's played 700 hours of Fortnite, 150 hours of Apex, 3 hours of Ninja Turtles. How much of that data is there for people to grab? And it's oh, that feels weird. But I really appreciate their conversation and this idea of growing and tastes in games changing and evolving. And so I just want to say thank you to John and Drew. That was a really interesting moment for me to hear and listen to somebody else on the outside kind of talking about it. And I really appreciate it. So it was very cool. Also, go check out the Dads After Dark content. You should check that out and check out all of our amazing podcasts. Also, like the Game Pass News and the Dinner Table and stuff. Retro Logic. But yeah, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for that conversation. Obviously, I'm not here on this show yet or back. Just family and life has gotten in the way, and lots of other things are going on. And so right now, I'm just taking a little bit of a break. And hope to be returning probably in August. I'm going on my own holiday very soon here too, and so that'll help as well. But yeah, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for your support. I greatly appreciate it. But that's it. I'm sure maybe the gents will have a conversation point off of this as well about falling in and out of gaming and maybe a reaction to my commentary as well. But thanks for your support, everyone. I greatly appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye.
Excellent. It's good to hear.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of after hearing his episode was he needs a hug.
And maybe I think we might, if Justin is okay with it, of course, maybe we should post his answer separately to YouTube at some point if it's not already done. I think because then other people can see it.
Justin's the best. Justin's such a cool guy. And he shouted out all the Nintendo Dad's Family podcasts, and they all are cool guys. I really like that Drew and John did that take on analyzing what kind of games would be good for him to get excited about. Nice. I just think that's.
Now I'm wondering if that's going to be a running skit on their show, is to analyze each of us. Did Andross freeze up?
He did freeze up a moment there, but yeah, it would be interesting if they start analyzing all the other dads and what they play and stuff.
They'll look at mine. 500 hours of Picross.
That's easy analysis. So, well, as Andross gets back in, we'll keep talking about this for a moment. But Jesse, have you had any times where you felt meh about games or specific company like Nintendo or Sony or Xbox or PC or Atari or in television?
Sony for like the last, ever since I bought the PS5, it seems like, but yeah, with like normally, I try to, in preparation for the top 10 every year at the end of the year, I try to keep a running list of games that I've liked. And normally at this time of year, I've got 6 or 7 games. So far, I just have one.
Gotcha.
And I've been putting more time into Xbox. I've been putting more time into just other non-gaming projects, mainly because there isn't a lot of stuff on Switch. A lot of the stuff that Nintendo's been putting out on Switch are based, sports games or games that are evolving over the course of a year and a half. And I'm like, I don't have the patience for that. I want to play the game and move on to the next. I'm not going to play a skeleton of a game that first. So
yes. And I think that's why it's important for us to have the different voices that we have so that everybody can hear, somebody can connect with how Jesse plays games or what games are into that he's into, or connect with Marty with the type of games he plays, or Justin or me or anybody else who's been on this show or on the other family of podcasts. And that's why we've grown to those things and hoping to grow more, if you will. So, and we're open to the other communities because we know we can't touch all the people. So like having Andross and Nintendo Pals on and say, go check them out because they're into speed runs and challenge runs. Maybe you are too. So make sure you go check them out, and
the core 4 of us, basically, there's very, very little overlap in what we like. Everyone likes something different. And that makes for a more
doesn't
interesting
like
show.
Different things as well.
Yeah, and I think that makes for a more interesting listen, because if everyone agreed on everything,
interesting conversations.
If everyone agreed on everything, we're the Nintendo Power Podcast, and we don't want to do that.
Yeah,
they are not very exciting to listen to.
Wait, you're talking about the Nintendo Power Podcast, not the Nintendo Power Cast. Don't
right, the Nintendo Power Podcast, the one is put out by Nintendo.
I have not heard Josh and Crawler over there.
No. I'm talking about. In fact, Nintendo
those guys. If those guys, I listen to a lot of Nintendo podcasts, and those guys went through a period that was very similar for like a year. I'd say. I don't know if they would agree with this, but like N64 Josh and Crawler over at the Nintendo Powercast were like meh towards Nintendo, and they would say like, honestly, my Switch is collecting dust at the moment. I have never had that kind of period in my life, but maybe it's because it's my only system. But that's okay, man. If you got other systems, just game where you want to game what you want to game. And there's no shame in that. And maybe you don't have time for games. Yeah, and that's like just the reality of sometimes of adult life. You don't have the time.
It's funny you mentioned that, Andross, is about having Nintendo be the only console you have, the Switch being the only console. There was a point in my time when I got back into gaming because of my family. It was my only system that I got into was Nintendo, or systems, if you will, because it was handheld and a console. But there was a point I reached. I think it was early in the WiiU age, actually, where I was frustrated with Nintendo. It wasn't going as a fan. I wasn't seeing what it needed to do for it to grow with me, or what I expected it to do to grow with me, like to keep me as a fan. And I even wrote a blog about it, and it's out there somewhere in the blog, just for whoever wanted to read it could read it. Where I was upset about that, I saw what Sony PlayStation was doing and Nintendo wasn't doing it. I wanted Nintendo to evolve with me as a gamer, and they weren't. And I wrote about it and was frustrated. So that was my season where I was frustrated with Nintendo. And then after that, I realized further down the road, I don't know how long, if it was, 6 months to a year or whatever, but I realized that was the moment I realized that I needed to have a second console to cover those things that I was disappointed in that Nintendo didn't have, that I wanted to see, but I was seeing it.
And you weren't
elsewhere.
like me, and that second console wasn't a 3DS.
Correct.
Like, I'm just gonna get another Nintendo system.
No,
buddy.
Nintendo, no, because we already had, I had the handheld, I had the home system.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So yeah, it was, for me, it was, I decided to get another handheld system, and it was the PSP. That was when getting back into games and getting back into the Sony thing, it was a PSP. So, and then and it evolved from there. So,
Yeah, you're a trader. It's okay.
All right, Drew.
I give grief. Yeah. I gotta come in here. Give the Drew. He cheating on Nintendo.
Cheating, yes. So, but I agree with, there are seasons and people come to realization to certain things, and it just I think time will tell for certain people, and some people are just happy with, hey, there's no game for me right now. I'll go do something else, like a speed run or a challenge run. I think was a great idea. So, who knows if I would have had that idea, if I would have had that, found that out back then, if I would still have that issue. But
yeah, that's a good point. I said that maybe it's because Nintendo's my only system. I know for a fact that is not true. I have a gaming PC that is capable of doing very cool games and very cool things, and I have a pretty good Steam library built up on there. I hardly touch it. I am like all in on Nintendo. I have had access to other systems in the past, and I still gravitate towards Nintendo. That's just where I'm at with it, and that's where I like to game, and I don't foresee myself ever switching off that, because I'm a grumpy old man and I'm stuck in my ways. So that, but kind of the cranky Kong. Back in my day, there wasn't any extra bits. This is where I'm gonna play games.
Right.
I don't know.
Back in my day.
I forgot about that sound clip. Whatever happened to that segment? Miss it.
No one liked it.
I liked it. Part of the niche back in my day fan.
No one told us that they liked it.
And nobody told us they missed it until now.
The one thing that I
right.
The one thing that I think everybody can be valid in feeling how they feel about stuff. I just don't like the negativity thrown at things you're not enjoying. Like you don't have that.
It adds spice to life. What are you talking about?
Justin isn't going out there on Twitter and now on every single Nintendo post going like, "Where's my new Donkey Kong game?" Or like, "What is it?"
Oh,
or like a Xenoblade 3 trailer comes out and he goes on and writes "garbage game" under, like, that is not necessary.
Fire Emblem. It would be Fire Emblem.
It would be that too. Yeah. Like people do this though. They're upset because they're not in, like you said, they're not in season for Nintendo.
Yeah.
And maybe they think, maybe they wish to be like me. I wish I could give everybody the all seasons pass to Nintendo. But and they just feel like it should be for me, and since it's not, it's bad. And I feel like that ruins the experience for the people like me that are having a good time and are enjoying the stuff. You don't have to go out and rain on those parades, but it's okay to not be into it at the moment for one reason or another. Just don't say anything about it. You just don't.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. That's maybe I'm a little harsh in that regard. I loved that episode. I loved listening to Justin's solo episode. I thought, I hear it a lot. I thought it was so funny that he just said, like, I thought, this was a very contrary opinion to the popular. I think that's very popular opinion at the moment. You see it a lot.
Yeah.
From Nintendo creators. Feels like they're all harping on Nintendo more than they're having a good time playing the games, which I'm like, why are you here?
It's
I don't get it.
Like I was saying, for me back then, I felt Nintendo wasn't evolving with me as a gamer, and I wanted them to follow where I was going on the upscale, games with stories and narration or whatever that I was seeing everybody else do. I wanted to see Nintendo do that, and I got that from the Metroid games. That's probably why I love them so much, but a little bit from my perspective. So but I wasn't getting it there, and then that's when I decided, okay, I do have to have a second outlet for that, and not I can't depend. Nintendo is focused on family gaming and a certain age range, and I was growing out of it, and that's what it became. I was just growing out of it as a gamer. So
yeah,
that
age range of
for
like
a lot of people.
2 to 32. Yeah.
And I think there's a
age range.
dip there too, because it could be, there's a 2 to 22 or whatever, or 2 to 32 or whatever. There's an age range there. And I think there's a point where, or even 2 to say in a teen area, because there's teens that will fall out of Nintendo, because it's like, oh, that's what I played when I was a kid. Now I want to go and play what, the older kids are playing, PlayStation and Xbox. So, and then they come back when they start having a family and all that kind of stuff. So I think there's definitely trends and seasons and stuff like that. And I think it's more common than people think. It's just what people aren't seeing is when I'm in that season, somebody may not be, or this group is, and or vice versa. Or I'm not
show some empathy to everybody else. That's the message takeaway, because people get too stuck on, like, if I'm enjoying it, then everybody else should be enjoying it, or vice versa. If I'm not enjoying it,
but I think it's also, I think it's
cool.
The choice of words as well, right? And that's what a lot of people are learning is, yes, fine, you don't like the game, so a lot of people are like, in my opinion, the game is not for me, so I don't. Or like when we talk about directs, right? Where there'll be either some things that you like or some things you don't, or all things you don't like or all things that you do. So, and some people, the direct doesn't hit right. So they're like, hey, this direct wasn't for me. I didn't see anything I liked. Jesse, you say that a lot, because there's a lot of games that are usually said that are posted in the direct, but you're like, hey, that's not my style of game.
Yeah. Normally in a direct, I like 2 or 3 games. And if I like 3 games, then okay, this is one of the higher ones.
Yes.
And just one of the last directs we had, there was 0 games I liked.
And that's the mentality and the words used right there. Is like, Jesse's already got it figured out that if there's like a couple games out of there that he likes, then it's a win.
I don't expect to like every game. I know.
Right.
I know that'll never happen.
And you've got people who expect that every single game should be.
Every game cannot be a banger.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So there was a DM that came in. I don't know if they wanted to read it, so I won't say the name. But basically, as a response to Justin's episode last week, also says, when did Nintendo games become more like some Capcom fighting games where they only release some content and add it over time? I compare to them because it makes me think back to when they'd release a fighting game, and I think, I'll wait for the complete edition with all the DLC pack included and all the missing modes added. I know it can cause FOMO if you don't get it right away, but why am I paying for what feels like an incomplete game? So I think the short answer to that,
asked for it, people. You wanted Nintendo to go online. You wanted to have online multiplayer and wanted them to catch up. They did it. All right.
I think the short answer to that is Furukawa-san. Because, Iwata was against DLC.
No, he was super
and updates.
anti. Yeah, he was anti that stuff.
But, you're getting someone, someone new into management who, is in the business side. It wasn't the developer who worked his way up. So that type of think is kind of what's normal in the video game industry now amongst executives. And, again, as you said, Nintendo's quote unquote catching up I hope it doesn't get us to where Activision and EA are, but they're doing things that Nintendo wouldn't have thought of doing 10 years ago.
Mario Strikers Loot League. Next time we'll get loot boxes and NFTs, and it'll be about like 20 years late. Yeah, no, I hear that. So I want to specify
though. It won't.
I want to specify because I think, like, when did Nintendo games become this way? I think this has only been it's a very recent trend, and it's been with a lot of their sports titles. I think a lot of people have this animosity towards the sports games on Switch. I've seen a lot of
Well, again, I said that I said as much earlier this episode for based on my likes. That isn't what I like.
Yeah. So, like, a couple points I have to that are the original sports games weren't really packed with that much content to begin with. Like the ones that you're remembering on the Wii and the GameCube and those. I mean, they were still sports games. I don't know. I feel like there's like this false expectations that those should be at a higher point than they are, because we had Zelda and now we're at Breath of the Wild. We had Mario, now we're at Mario Odyssey. We had Mario Strikers, so now we should be at whatever the Breath of the Wild equivalent to that is. Right. And it's not. It hasn't had that like progression. It's stayed pretty level in how it's come out. It's same like Mario Party is a great example of that. It's Mario Party again. I like that's kind of the way it's been for those sort of spin-off titles. So I think that I'm not saying that's a wrong thing to think, because I wish that they had more too. I personally am a little disappointed with Strikers. I feel like maybe I shouldn't have gotten in on this one. I've had fun with it, but I definitely don't think it was worth the $60 price tag as it is right now. But then on the flip side, I'm like, I like Switch Sports. It's pretty good. Maybe not as good as Resort, in my opinion, but it's still pretty fun. I've had a good time with it. But I've already moved on. I'm on to the next thing.
Yeah, it's fun to see how these games are evolving and how they handle Nintendo's sports. So Switch Sports. So I have Switch Sports, but I haven't touched it. I haven't played it. And I know how much fun everybody's having with it. It's just for us, the Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort were family games, and now that my kids are older, we're not all playing games like that together anymore. It's different type of games that we're playing together now. So that's why
Roblox.
No, it's not Roblox.
Oh man,
but I know what you're talking about.
I know a lot of people are playing games like that with their kids.
Yeah, Minecraft is, I got into that late.
I'm a good parent. My kids have no idea what a Roblox even is.
Yeah, that's good. Keep it that way.
Yeah, well, we will.
Good luck with that, because as soon as they hit like first or second grade, then you won't be able to hide it.
Kids are talking about it. No, it wasn't around here for a while too, because I would get asked, and I'd be like, "Nope, you got other things to play." So, yeah. Then
we don't talk about that here. We only talk about Mario in this house.
Yes,
get that Sonic out of here, son.
Then he got a tablet, and then we were like, "Okay, you can try it out." Rest is history. All right, but great topic, great answer from Justin, and I think this will be a discussion for a while in our Discord, maybe even your own, Andross. Yeah,
I see we have Purple Ryulu in chat said sometimes the best way to enjoy something is to get a good break from it. Yes. This is like there is wisdom to that, because if you go to Disneyland every single day, it's not as exciting as when you go once every 5 years. It's an event, you know what I'm saying? And yes, that's definitely the way it is in gaming. I mean, if you're playing the exact same thing over and over and over and over again, that burnout is real. And maybe that's what a lot of these content creators are experiencing. They are just playing so many games, and they're they're not feeling full on anything because it's all the samples. It's all the Costco samples. And,
Yes.
and over time you go, man, I just want a meal that I can dig into. And I'm not getting that here.
Yeah, we've talked about that before too on the show, is that topic of and
Game
just
sampler.
the game sampler, but we talked about being fortunate, blessed, however you want to say it, in getting game codes so we have access to more games, or the community supports us buying games so that we can share it with them, and so we have access to a lot a large library of games.
As a community member, I jumped in and I've helped out with making videos for the NINDADS YouTube channel. And I gotta say, I gotta say for you guys here that my kids love those games. I got my kids playing these more obscure indie titles that get thrown.
That you don't get to see, but we get to test out and share with the community, which is the point of it too. So but it's
and I like them too. They're good games.
Right.
So
but that's because we have access to all those games. That's when we get into the game sampler mode, and we've discussed that maybe that's not such a good idea, or we need to figure out a better way of handling being able to fill us up, to be able to play the games we want, kind of like the Jesse way of doing things, being able to say, hey, I've got this game that I'm going to beat, and I will either find time to play this game, or it's going to wait while I get to this point in this game I'm on the path of beating. So I'm trying to find that balance myself, which was my first game was the Breath of the Wild thing. So trying to say, okay, here's a game that I'm going to stay focused on. And then when we have other projects, I'll do those, but I need to go back to that one game. So it might take me longer, but we'll see.
I see a lot of the extremes, especially in content creation, but I think it happens for individuals in their consumption of games as well. Especially where we're in this like interconnected web world where, it's on to the next new thing and the next announcement. So people that are like on top of the Nintendo scene are always weighing, oh, should I get this next game that comes out this month by Nintendo, or should I get this next one that comes out this next month? And in the content creation space, it seems like it goes two extremes. You either get the samplers, or you get they're playing one thing, and that is what they do. And if they play something else, then the people don't watch their stuff. I see that. I see that a lot. We're good friend of our show, Cosmic Speedrunner. Cosmic runs Mario Bros. Ran Super Mario Bros. 1. I mean, countless hours, and was doing the any percent speedrun for that, and just stopped because it's like it just that burnout. Like it's not enjoyable to do that anymore, and moved on to doing other Mario games, and found ways to spin it so it's still around that Mario speedrunning content. And I think a lot of content creators get trapped in their game, and that stinks. That stinks for them.
Something you brought up there too, I think we also have to make sure we're still also listening to the community, because we don't want to pressure the community and thinking they have to play along with us unless they want to, or think they have to go buy something to be a part of what we're doing. So, I mean, I'd love to hear from the community and what they think, like if they feel like, or understand that we're not trying to pressure people into buy things. It's more of trying to check it out so that they can spend their money wisely in a way.
I tried all the samples, so you know what meal to get.
Exactly. That's why we do it, is to say, hey, here's something that you may not have heard of, but you may want to, keep an eye on in case you do have a few bucks to throw at a game, or you only have a few bucks to throw at a game, not $60, but you got like 5 or less, so here's a game we got a code for, let's check it out. So that's why we do that. But at the same time, we want to make sure we're balanced, and also doing when we do games like Monthly Mayhem and all that kind of stuff, that we're not pressuring people into thinking, oh, you have to go buy this. We try to do things, or when we did Retro Rewind too, we're trying to do things to where you have access to it easily. And if you don't, we try to work around that some way, somehow. So but I think the community's kind of gotten along with that. But I also fear like there's some people who left the community because maybe they felt pressured or something, or didn't feel like they were part of it. And that's stuff I worry about it.
Or they're stuck in lurk mode because they don't want it, because they're not in on the new thing. Yeah,
Yes.
that's definitely a thing. I think that happens.
So
yeah.
Well, I think maybe got off on a tangent there, but I think it's all interconnected in some way. So, but great topics. Let's move on real quick to an event, and then we'll move on to Jesse's PokéMinutes. So the events lately have just been basically me reminding everybody we have dinner table every month, every third Friday of the month. We get together at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And this month, or this coming month, August 19th, is the Friday that we'll be doing our show.
But Justin, Tim. I came in here. I was so excited. I'm segueing for him. Tim, I don't feel like eating dinner. I kind of want some breakfast.
Yes, and that is also we're talking about the breakfast table, and we're working on it, which is.
I can't believe I messed it up. I gave you the wrong name.
No, you're fine. The breakfast table is something that we're talking about because we have people who can't join on a Friday night at 10 o'clock. We're looking at doing a breakfast table, not a replacement of the dinner table, just an added community session where we all get together, but in the morning during either the week or weekend or both, because right now it seems kind of divided of when people have time in the morning to potentially join in on this.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe a Sunday brunch might be good, but of course everyone probably already has plans with their families normally around that time anyway, so that maybe it's not a good thing.
We'll figure it out. Basically, it's a democracy in our community. We're going by votes right now. Again, it's kind of down the middle in a way where oh my gosh, I'm throwing off, but there's a Justin.
It's Jason.
Sorry. I heard someone call my name. I was just sitting in bed and it's like odd desire that someone called my name and I had to dial into a podcast. I think, was it Andross? Did Andross say my name? It's like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, he did say it 3 times.
Oh my gosh. What's going on, guys?
What's going on? We just got done watching your video and having a big long discussion about that, about the meh feelings you've been having. Sure. And I shared the time when I ran into that during the WiiU time. Yeah. And then Andross shared some great ideas on how to kind of give new life to old games by doing speed runs or challenge runs to some of those games. Oh. It's one way to change it. So
yeah,
lots of great discussions there.
Man, I was looking forward to it because I was just going to change hobbies. I was thinking cocaine, but if Andross has a better solution, I guess I'll just not.
I have a lot of better solutions than cocaine.
Okay,
I can get that's an Andross guarantee.
Oh wow! Yeah. I'll take that to the bank, won't I? An Andross guarantee.
Yeah, as chief intern here at Nintendo.
Yeah,
Dads.
doing a great job, chief intern. Man, you keep this up, you're gonna go straight to head of HR soon, and then CEO. Yeah, Tim, you're still not getting the raise. Stop asking for it. You're not getting it. Dirty bastard.
The HR team, I think, has a lot to deal with here.
They sure do. All right, well. Like I said, I heard my name and felt like I had to pop in because it was like Beetlejuice, but here I am. Thanks for being here. I love the show, Andross. Thanks for jumping in and really just taking care of the show so that Marty and I can just be lazy, and that's really what we do. But Tim and Jesse, you're doing okay.
Hopefully, I was hoping for my 3%, but oh well,
I think you owe me money. I think is how this works.
Oh, geez, Pete. All right, I need to work on that.
Do you accept payments in hats?
Oh, do I? Do I ever?
All right, I'll work on my goals for next year. So
love it. We'll talk about it during your mid-year review. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Thanks for running the show. I love you guys. Miss you guys. Hope to be back eventually. Take care. Bye-bye.
See you later. That was fun. All right. So again,
I need to say Justin more often.
Yes.
It's very exciting.
That was unexpected, but fun. So, but as we were talking about, dinner table once a month, third Friday of every month. And then it's for the community. We get together in the Discord, and you got to be Patreon member or Twitch subscriber to join. And then we're also talking about doing a breakfast table. So still stay tuned for that. So let's move on to Jesse's PokéMinutes.
Pika, pika, Pikachu.
I hate you all.
Yeah. Before I start, we'll go with a wild Justin appeared. Justin uses sarcasm. It was ineffective. Or it was not effective. Is that the term they used? It's been a while since I played a Pokemon game. Anyway, August Community Day for Pokemon Go will feature Galarian Zigzagoon. August 13th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. local time. Evolve a Galarian Linoon before 7 p.m. to receive an Obstagoon that knows Obstruct. During the event, trainers will receive 3 times Catch Stardust, 2 times Catch Candy, 2 times chance for trainers level 31 and up to receive XL Candy, and lure modules and incense will last for 3 hours. From 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. local time, Galarian Linoon will appear in 4-star raids. There'll also be timed research that'll require trainers to catch 100 Galarian Zigzagoon to receive all of the rewards. That includes an Obstagoon hat, Obstagoon glasses, Obstagoon gloves, and an Obstagoon pose for your avatar. The items will also be available to purchase. In addition to the Community Day, there's going to be a Hisuian Discoveries event starting July 27th at 10 a.m. through August 2nd at 8 p.m. Hisuian Growlithe, Hisuian Quillfish, and Hisuian Sneasel will make their Pokemon Go debuts. These 3 plus Hisuian Voltorbs will also be available in 7-kilometer eggs.
Now to what we've been playing. So as we traditionally do, we have our guests go first in regards to what they've been playing. Andross, what you've been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Spelunky too. I was going for some of those achievements. Like I said, right now I finished the no money run, and I'm working on the get 1 million money in a single run. It's roguelike. So when you die, you start over and lose all
And
your
it's
progress.
random.
And
it's
streaming
random.
those too?
I haven't been streaming that. That's just
Okay.
been for fun.
Nice.
I have
Nice.
so many. Okay, I gotta say that I have so many moments in this game where I'm like, this is it. This is the run. I have all the bombs I could need, because bombs are really a valuable asset in that game. If you can get bombs, you can blow up paths to get down levels faster, take out enemies, and in this run in particular, you blow up the City of Gold and get a lot of money. And so I'm like, yes, 50 bombs, yes. And then just something ridiculous happens. I get hit by like a stray bullet, fall down several levels.
Oh, man.
I go from 9 health to 0 instantly, and I'm just like, ah! And then after doing that, then I go play something else for a little while. And for me, that's been
sounds
Fall
like,
Guys.
That sounds like when I got hit by that frog in that Pitfall 2 run.
Right.
So I've been playing a good mix of Fall Guys in there as well on Switch. I really enjoy playing through that game. For some reason I don't get really frustrated in that one, although there are times where I think the games are like, this is not a game I enjoy playing.
Yeah.
But it's a good time. And then in addition to that, I played through Pokemon Puzzle League, hard mode, story mode this week. More voice acting than I was expecting, because it's Pokemon. How does this game have voice acting and Sword and Shield doesn't? Beyond me. It's because it's like clips from the anime, but it is like custom stuff made for the game that they had the voice actors record. Interesting.
Yeah, and that opening animated cutscene is new to the game.
Yeah. I'm honestly baffled why they don't utilize the amazing talent they have over from their TV and movie side and bring that over to the game side with like animated cutscenes and voice acting would be very cool. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. I unlocked very hard mode. I'll maybe go back and do that. I love Panel de Pon, and Pokemon Puzzle League was just more of that. And I liked the formula. I had a lot of fun with it. And then in addition to that, as always,
Have you
played
played the 3D mode, or are you sticking with the 2D mode?
I haven't tried the 3D mode yet. I got to give that a shot.
I remember when that was new, I liked the 3D mode, and I got really good at it. But now I bet I'm garbage.
Yeah. In addition to that, I also played more Breath of the Wild. Just that's kind of a constant. I'll be doing challenge stuff for that. And right before this, I was streaming Mario Maker 2. That crazy challenge to beat 50 levels in a row. And that's
awesome.
it. Dipped a little bit into Fortnite this week. Got my Indiana Jones skin.
Nice.
And that's I like the problem is I have too many of those like live service games. I haven't touched Rocket League in forever, and I really enjoy Rocket League. And I guess Fall Guys kind of took over that Fortnite slot in my life for right now. But I want to keep going because I want Darth Vader. He's so cool.
I got the pass and everything to do that, but I was playing everything else and didn't have time to do any of the challenges and getting the points. And
then the gall of Nintendo, they're like, hey, Live Alive this week and also Xenoblade 3. So goodbye, summertime for you guys. You'll have no time for anything.
Speaking of Live Alive, it's live. It should be live now. It should have
Live
been
Alive is live
10 minutes ago.
I'm gonna turn on my Switch right now.
And that's it. That's it for me. That's what I've been playing. Oh, I guess I don't want to go into my 24-hour stream. We played a lot of games during that, but something that is pretty cool, not Nintendo related. I tried a mod for Skyrim that let you play multiplayer, Skyrim Together. And
nice.
It worked very well. I honestly, we only had like a couple crashes happen, and they were sort of warranted because we were like trying to load things while moving and messing stuff up. It's a mod. It's not perfect.
Right.
And it's just making me very hyped for Breath of the Wild multiplayer.
Like you mentioned earlier, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, it does say demo version save data found. Do you wish to import the save data right from the launching the game?
The best. That's the way to do it.
I love it. I love it. So yes, that's why I played it. And there it is. Sweet. All right. Is that it?
I played a lot more, but
I'll just 24 hours worth of gaming there.
Yeah, I'll cap it there.
All right, Jesse, what you been playing?
Okay, I played more of the Live Alive demo last week. I didn't finish the future one with the robot. I don't know how long it is, so I'm guessing about halfway. It's where I get to the point where I'm starting to wake up the crew from their cryogenic chambers. So that's as far as I got. So, and the other two scenarios I did get as far as the demo will let me get. So I'll be able. So when the game's live now after the show, I'll probably play a little bit before going to bed, and I'll be able to try some of the other scenarios. Last show 2 weeks ago, I talked about House Flipper. I'm playing that on PC through Game Pass, and I said it started felt more like a contractor simulator than anything, but basically what I think the opening section is teaches you how to do things, like how to demolish walls, how to build new walls, how to paint the rooms, how to buy the furniture you want. So I pretty much did all of the tasks the game had set for me. I got some sort of achievement pop up for it. I don't, but it went away before I could read it. And then, so the only thing left is to literally, buy a house, fix it up, and quote unquote sell it. So I did that, and I realized, oh yeah, this is the part of the games I hate. Like, this is why I don't play Minecraft. This is why I have like no creativity. So I ended up like painting everything inside white. I retiled a few floors, made a few bedrooms, made a bathroom. And then when you put a house on the auction, you see the interested parties talking about what they want and what they don't want. And while it did sell and it did sell for a profit, the people that bought it is a family of 5 that one of the things that they want in a house is it must have 2 bathrooms, and I only had 1. So like, why are you even bidding on this house if this isn't a house for you? And I'm going through the other comments, and one person noted that I didn't have a kitchen. I'm like, oh crap, I didn't put a kitchen in this house.
That is awesome. That is so great that's possible. You're like, oh dang it, I forgot the kitchen.
So yeah, so well, yeah, I did profit, and there are other properties I can buy. They go up to like a castle, like for like $700,000. Is and so,
Castle
but,
flipper. That's my alley right there.
Yeah,
I
I
was
don't
looking-
even want
I
to
have
know
this-
how many rooms that has and how long it'll take to remodel it.
I have this problem of like, I feel like a lot of adults do this. You guys ever just go on like Zillow or like a house hunting place and just look at houses you'll never be able to afford?
My wife does that.
Yep.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
goes,
I do that.
"Can we buy this house when we grow up?"
Yeah, I was like, hey, so how do I get to the point where I can afford an $8 million castle?
Right.
Someone, I guess I need to start flipping other houses first. Or
Work
get
your way
build
up
up to
to
that
it.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Anyway, and of course, I'm in the middle of a kitchen remodel in real life, which then, like, literally
That's
the
why
day
you
after,
forgot the kitchen.
yeah,
You don't
so,
have
like,
one right now. You're like,
So
I don't need that.
the day after I painted this house all white, my wife goes, "Which of these colors do you like?" I'm like, "I don't want to look at colors." I can't make a decision in a game, and you expect me to make a decision for a real kitchen? So we picked a color. Anyway,
That's why.
so
That's why you
I,
have that help. That's
I
why you
love
have
that
help.
Jesse's taste in games is like the games that I always hear Jesse talk about on this show are puzzle games, specifically
cross.
Picross. Yeah, I was like Pixels. Yeah, Picross, and then the occasional simulation game like Power Wash Simulator and now House Flipper that you just like random like which don't seem related at all, but they are. That's the
Yeah, like
that's
I
the
I
Jesse
played
combo.
like a few years ago. I played PC Builder Simulator, and anyway, so you know, it's a fun game. I'm done with it. I uninstalled it. I'm not gonna go do the end game stuff because like I'm not that creative.
Then just to let you all know, the House Flipper is on the Nintendo Switch as well.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
I think you. Yeah, I think
You could have been
mentioned
flipping
that
houses on the go.
Yeah.
Okay, then so switching to some PlayStation. When I first heard about this game, I thought it was a PlayStation exclusive. So when it was available to buy, I bought it on PlayStation. Then I found out, no, it's also on Game Pass. I'm like, dang it. But
You face palmed so hard you disappeared for a second for the video. you were like, gosh, and just ceased to exist. That's how upset he was about that.
So I played Escape Academy because, of course, you know, I like escape room games. I play those all the time as well. So I played this on the PlayStation, and it was fun. And it starts off like you are literally in the worst escape room ever, with like no budget, and it's funny how bad this room is. But then it opens up really quick to something amazing. There's a total of like 12 escapes in total. None of them take more than an hour. I think the highest time limit might be 45 minutes. But man, most of them you only get like 30 or like 25 or 30 minutes to do. And but so it's a relatively short game, but it does kind of exercise brain muscles that normally don't get exercised if you're not doing escape room games. So even I had to say, okay, I need to stop playing this for now, and I'll go back to it tomorrow. You know, it is a game that you want to have a pad, you know, a notebook and pen to take notes. The game even says you want notes. You want something to take notes on.
Interesting.
One
Will
thing
this
that does.
Do you think this is possible to come to Switch?
I think it's possible.
Like graphically, it didn't look too crazy.
Oh, the graphics are horrible. It's it doesn't do it's very flat textures and it doesn't do anything special. Yeah, I think having the higher resolution does help to show the details of the puzzle. I think the resolution would be the one thing that would hinder it. But
I am literally looking at this game right now, Jesse, and it says people also searched for Power Wash Simulator.
they're referencing my.
Is
they
it
must be looking at my.
Yeah, it's specifically recommending me what you're seeing.
That's funny. So I did like the game. They it has a little bit of a story to it, and I kind of got me to want to play more. There is going to be some DLC in the future. So when I bought it, I bought the expanded pack. I forget what they called it. So instead of the base game of like $20 or so, I think I paid the $35 version. So I'll get when the DLC packs come out, I'll play those as well. So when you finish it, you get a grade. If you use no hints and you do it in time, you get A+. And there's an achievement for getting 10 A+. But every time I needed to use a hint, I had to use a hint, like one hint. I think I'd say 8 out of the 12, 8 out of the 11 or 12 puzzles. I forgot what I said. And most of them are, how was I supposed to know that? One of them was, how did I not see that? That should have been, that is so obvious.
Right.
So you kind of kick yourself. But when I'm done with it, I always go back and play it again to get the A+, but apparently that doesn't count. You have to get the A+ your first time run. So if I want to get that achievement, I'm going to have to play through the game again on a new save to try to get it. I don't think I'm willing to do that. There's another achievement for getting at least a B+ and everything. There's one course I failed at because I ran out of time. And my options when you run out of time is you can quit or you can continue with 5 extra minutes. So I did a continue with 5 extra minutes, and that literally only took me 30 seconds more to finish the room. But because of that, I got a B. So I didn't get the B+, so I didn't get either of those achievements. But again, if you like that escape room like puzzle games, that it's a fun game. Play it. I know Wondrous will be doing a live stream this coming Tuesday. It does have two online co-op, and he's going to play. I played it solo, but you can play with co-op. I'd like to try to do that with someone, but of course I've played all the puzzles, so it's not going to be fun. At least not fun for the other person.
Right.
Okay. But so it'll be interesting. It'll be fun to watch him play with someone. He does plan on doing it 2-player. So I plan on watching his stream next week. And then finally, I started playing Stray. That one is a PlayStation exclusive, and I'm like only like 45 minutes in. I just got to where you find the B12 companion drone. And that's when I put it down and haven't had a chance to start it up again. Though I think Tim will have more to say about that, so I'll let him go.
Okay. Well, before we go too, I wanted to be conscious of your time, Andross, because I know it's late. You're in Eastern time, and I wanted to make sure you're okay, and I'll give you the opportunity to, if you need to go, make sure you had a chance to talk about your Nintendo pals and all that kind of stuff. But if you're willing to hang out some more, that's fine too.
I'm willing to stay up late.
All
It's
right,
a
I know.
school night, but I don't care. We're rebels
Excellent.
at Nintendo Pals, everybody.
That's fine. Yeah, I just want to throw that out there because usually I throw that out during your section too, but I forgot to mention that. So it's a new thing we're trying to do for our guests because I know we, tend to run long.
It's my fault
So-
though. Like I come on to the show and the shows are always longer. That everywhere I guessed that's the case. I just am
That's a goal.
Chatterbox.
It's a goal.
It's not a goal. Challenge run. Challenge run.
Challenge run. Let's
Run
finish
the
the
clock.
Nintendo Dads in 1 hour.
Yeah.
Nintendo
If you
Dad
want to do
speed
that,
run.
you wouldn't invite me on. That's for sure.
The only way that happens is if you do a solo show. And we
Yeah.
saw that from Justin. So, and his was 40. I think it was 40 minutes for his. But anyways, all
35ish.
right. So something more around there. Yeah. So I've been playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I beat at some point. That was the past weekend. So I finally beat the game. Because it was after dinner table show this past Friday. I told everybody I was on the doorstep of Ganon at the sanctuary, and then just that weekend I got in there and beat it first try. It was frustrating. I didn't die or anything, but it was.
Yeah, I think the key to that initial stage is to be able to reflect the beams that you never could reflect the beams.
I cannot reflect the beams. Yes.
Or you could just come in with a lot of food.
I had a lot of food.
That was his strategy, and he went through most of it.
And I went through most of it because it was basically I just needed to regenerate all my divine beast skills, and then I was able to then deflect the beams back to Ganon.
So you stalled it and used
yes,
Rook's protection is ready
that's
to roll.
correct. That is correct. That's how I was able to do that and get him out in the field and beat him there. So
I mean that's just a cutscene.
And then he had a problem with his horse.
no, it was not just a cutscene. I had everybody telling me it was a cutscene. All you got to do, all you got to do is just shoot at it. You'll be fine.
I don't even think he can hit you. I don't even think he can hit you.
Yes, he can, because I had to regenerate and eat something because I got hit by it because my stupid horse.
I'm sorry,
because you always
running off.
Your horse would run into it and then tail. You're supposed to run around him.
Yes, I was trying, but
It sounds like you got a bad horse.
I was trying to aim at the stupid thing, but then the horse is running away, and I'm like, "No, horse, you're supposed to run around it." And then when I finally could get aiming towards the golden targets or whatever that pop up on it, the horse is running towards a leg, and I fall off, and I drop all my weapons, and I'm like, "What is going on here?" I'm getting so frustrated and stuff. I didn't die, but still it was like frustrating because my horse wasn't going where I wanted him to control. And I know it was all me because I'm controlling everything, right? But it was like I told you I'm not a good gamer, so I can't deflect the stupid laser beams, and I can't apparently aim my horse to go running around.
Yeah,
this week
I like forced my wife to learn how to do flurry rush dodge.
Yes.
It'll make it so much easier if you learn to do this.
That is a timing that I couldn't get down, and it would happen by chance, and I get excited when it happened, and then I couldn't do it again. So, but anyways, I beat it my way, and I can't wait to. Well, I can
with only minor cheating. I
only cheated once, and that was to get extra hearts.
All the hearts, yeah.
I didn't do all the hearts. I only got enough to be able to get the Master Sword, which was, I thought it was 15, but actually ended up being 20 hearts. Because it was like, I think the first row is actually 15 hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second row is another.
I thought it was 10. I thought it was 20.
I thought it was
total.
10 too, but I counted like 15 in the first row. And I don't know if it was because of DLC or something, but
Mecca's pointing out in chat, you still got to do the DLC now.
That'll come later. I will do that later. And right now it's like I just wanted to beat the main story.
I have to ask, did you get the true ending? Which
I did.
If so, like you got all the memories.
I got all the memories, yes.
Cool.
Yep. I made sure to do that because
if
I know ahead of time that I need to do something in order to get the true ending, my goal is to do that. So nice. if I know it ahead of time, and I knew that from Breath of the Wild, ahead of time, because obviously it's been 5 years over time, people tell you. I collected all the memories and made sure I had that. I make sure I was stocked and everything. So
Nick says that's also part of the story. Yeah, sort of.
He's talking about Age of Calamity.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, sort of. Same answer. You don't have to play Age of Calamity.
Right. Yeah. So but it's something that I would get more out of though too if I did start playing it again. And I will definitely get more out of Breath of the Wild 2 when that comes out. And that was the goal behind that. So DLC, we'll see. I started the DLC, and that was what I talked about. I think the last time we were at it was dinner table. I think I talked about it, but I accidentally started the DLC 2 while playing Breath of the Wild. After I got the 4 Divine Beasts, I didn't realize the DLC unlocks, and and the map like started showing, the next thing you're supposed to do. And I went towards that next thing without reading it on the quest list, the main quest list. And I went to it and started doing it. And that was the plateau. I went to the plateau to beat the new 4 shrines that popped up over there, and all the beasts that were around those,
that one
with the
hit
one hit weapon. Yeah. So I did that and I kept going. And then all of a sudden I beat those 4 shrines, and I'm like, yes, whatever, I'm gonna get something cool. No, the weapon blows up and splits up in however many pieces are on the rest of the map, and you got to go do those challenges over there. And I'm like, what is going on here? What is this? This doesn't feel like part of the story.
Do get a cool reward.
You do get a cool reward, but I stopped because it wasn't part of what I was trying to do, and that was beat the game. Because when I went back to look at the quest to figure out what was going on, I finally noticed the watermark behind the details of the quest, and it says that it's a part of the expansion pack DLC 2. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing the quest for that. So I stopped that and went on to beat Ganon. So eventually I'll go back to that quest, so because that horse is cool.
So the Master Sword trials,
there is that too as well. And there is also that
if
island.
You're into some punishment,
there's also that island too, right? So
that's part of the main game. That's not DLC.
I want to, but I still want to do that island.
Yeah, I've seen some really fun challenge runs for that, where they're like, can I beat this without touching the ground? Like they never touch the ground, so their stuff doesn't get taken away, and it's insane.
Wow,
interesting. I didn't know that was a possibility. I'll have to look at that.
Lots of stasising boats in midair.
So
junk.
That is one game on this list that I'm talking about. That is a possibility of, yes, I beat it. I rolled credits, but I will be going back to Breath of the Wild because it's an awesome game.
It's the best game.
Whether that be the DLC because I bought it, or other content because I loved exploring in that world, and that's why it took me 5+ years to play it and beat it, because I was exploring and not doing the game, the quest, the main quest. So I'm looking forward to going back in, and after taking a break from it and just kind of exploring like I was doing before, and maybe getting some, because I still have shrines to beat, still have, those will be my goal, is to collect more shrines and stuff like that. So, and then I'll go and explore the areas that are around those shrines. So that's that. I also, after I beat Breath of the Wild, I was opened up to playing other games again. So, because I was really focused on Breath of the Wild. So I finished the Live Alive demo after that, which, as you guys saw, I transferred my save file to the Live Alive game that just unlocked for me. So right now, as we're doing this podcast, and enjoyed that demo to where I want to keep playing that. And that was my goal as well, finish Breath of the Wild before Live Alive came out. And I did it. So now I'm looking forward to playing. That'll be my next long game, is Live Alive, and we'll see if that holds my attention or not. I played a game called Samurai Riot, which we actually will be having a video out on, if it isn't already out. It is a beat 'em up game, where the art style is, I am enjoying the art style. It's kind of got I think it's hand drawn. I have to reread the description of it, but the art style of it is, you're a samurai, you're part of a clan, and you're trying to protect your clan. And there's some story involved in it, but basically it is a beat 'em up, like your Streets of Rage or your Scott Pilgrims or your Turtles. It is a beat 'em up game, but one of the things that I really liked about this game was that that I read in. What's funny is it's not necessarily detailed in the Nintendo eShop store, but it is in their description that they sent us because we got a code for this. It's a unique cooperative system with devastating combined attacks. It has multiple branching storylines with moral decision making. So this is a beat 'em up game that has branching storylines and moral decision making, which I thought was interesting, and 8 different endings, depending on what you do in this. So you can play it solo, but what I've played so far would probably be best if you do play it cooperatively.
Beat 'em up.
It's a beat 'em up, yeah.
Yeah.
So
co-op.
But I would highly suggest checking out Samurai Riot for the Nintendo Switch, checking out the art style, the music in it. I'm loving it because it has a kind of a, it uses some of, I'm trying to think of the right terms, Japanese music in it. Not necessarily classical, but some of the Japanese type influenced instruments and stuff like that, but with a hip hop feel, where there's some bass and where you could you expect somebody to fully drop some bars on it, So, but I'm enjoying the music. The graphics are great on the Switch. I want to try it in handheld to see what it likes, but it is 60 frames per second, so the animations are nice and smooth. And there is voice dialogues in there as well as things you read as well. So, but it's got a combo system, all that kind of stuff. So I just did a first look on it, so I don't know if it continues on this trend of being awesome or not. But what I played so far was a lot of fun, and definitely something that if you're into beat 'em ups, something to check out and maybe watch the video I did. The other game I bought myself, no code, is Redout 2. And that just dropped today, I think. That is that fast RMX type racing game, or a lot of people compared it to like this is what F-Zero would be like today if Nintendo did it. Or Wipeout if you're familiar with those games. Very fast, track oriented, electronic dance music type music in the background while you're racing. I did a video on that too that will be dropping soon on our channel, because I love my racing games and I've always loved the Wipeout series of games, and this game is tough as far as piloting the vehicle, getting used to steering, and is it pronounced strafing?
Strafing.
Sorry,
Yeah.
strafing, and combining those two plus pitching. So there's a lot of controls that you got to get used to, on top of being able to boost at the right times to make jumps and all that kind of stuff. And there's training sessions for that. And I did okay. And I still need to work on my boost in order to get to the next part of the career mode. And that's what you see in this video. So basically the video is showing you how it looks on the Switch. I think it looks great for being a portable racing game that fast. I'm not sure how many frames per second they got that to go, but in my view, I'm looking over the site real quick, but in my view, I was able to really hone in on it, and nothing got me out of it. Nothing took me out of the game, like any glitches or any graphical issues or anything like that. So again, it's another one I want to play in handheld more. That's where I mainly play a lot of my games, is in handheld mode. But if you're interested in that type of game, the fast RMX or the original Redout or Wipeouts or even F-Zero, check out Redout 2. It's available now, and they have 2 versions where you can get just the regular one for $30. And then there's a $45 one that comes with a season pass, because apparently they'll have some sort of season races and stuff. So that'll be one I'll probably be playing on and off while I do Live Alive. And that's it for the games I've been playing on the Nintendo Switch. On my PlayStation, I was playing Stray, and that's why I'm saying is because I beat that and rolled credits on that this week as well. It is estimated to be like a 5 to 7 hour game. Of course, it's me playing, so it took longer. It took about me almost 9 hours to beat that game, but that's because I explore everything as much as possible. But I didn't get 100% on the trophies or the game completion itself. I did roll credits, like I said. I don't know if there's any impact to the ending on that, because I don't remember reading that. But this is another game that I do want to go back to and do another run and get 100% completion and also get trophies because I enjoyed it that much. In fact, Stray is on my game of the year list for when we start talking about it for me.
Wow.
So if you have a PlayStation, it is exclusive to that right now. I did speculate in our Discord that my gut says unless it was said somewhere and I don't know about it, my gut says that it's a year exclusivity and won't be out on other systems until a year from now. But I was saying I'm hopeful that maybe it will be sooner, like maybe December or January going into next year, that it could maybe make its way to the Nintendo Switch, which I think would be a great audience for. It may not look as polished and great there like it does on PlayStation. But again, I think it can be playable and fun on the go and the Nintendo Switch. It is available on PC as well, by the way. So you can play it on Steam and your Steam Deck. So it is, you are playing.
It is portable.
It
is
possible.
possible to play.
Yes. So
I looked at. I knew that someone picked Stray on our Fantasy Critic game, so
Yes.
I looked at the score.
There's a Fantasy Critic here.
In the Nintendo Dads, yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You guys ran that. I was like, I feel like I would have jumped in on that. I forgot about it.
Yeah,
yep.
It
Hambone is running that for us.
That's right. Hambone's running it.
Yes.
Yeah. So Bob
sorry,
Cousy
Hambone.
has it in his team. The score is 84, so he's got 14 points for it.
Yep. Yeah, he beat me to that one.
That's his only 14 points.
Yeah, he's got a lot of late games coming in too. So, but doesn't have a lot of games on his list. I think he's waiting to see what drops for Nintendo.
Yeah, he still has four empty slots.
Yes. So right for now, I'm leading the pack there.
He does have Bayonetta 3 on his team. So
nice. Yeah, that's another good one.
That's a pretty solid.
Well, he also had Starfield, so that was
that's a bummer.
A zonk.
Yeah. Yep. I got a lot of early wins, so I'm at the top of the list, but there's a lot of people that could take that over unless I get really good. My last remaining ones are really
most
good
of my
too.
games are late games.
Yeah.
Man, I should have jumped in on the Critic League. It sounds so fun. Everybody doing these Critic Leagues is having a lot of fun. It's like fantasy football, but in something I care about.
Right. Just keep an eye out for next year, unless you guys do it, for 2023 too. So
that's true.
And we can always do like with Carpool Gaming and PlayStation Trophy Room.
Yep. A bunch of people are collabing on these things. I'm like, man, we just need to get everybody together. It's time to do the podcast pal convention.
Yes,
everybody
team
gets
is a podcast.
Yeah,
and their group. Yep.
Everybody gets that was it. Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that whole like cross community thing with Smash Bros. A while back.
Yes,
still need to plan more. It's my fault. I need to get on that planning the next one. But yeah,
it's okay.
Good to there's so many awesome communities you can dive in on. Nintendo Dads is one of the best.
Thanks. All right, so that's what we've been playing. Let's move on to the community spotlight. realized I didn't really go into much detail about Stray, other than I played it, I beat it, and then it's on my game of the year. But basically,
Fantastic game.
if you don't
That's
know
all
what
I got.
Stray is, you're a cat. And I think it is probably the most fun being a cat that I will ever have, unless there's another game, a Stray 2 comes out. Because you actually you go through, you get to sleep like a cat if you find a good place to sleep. You meow at everything, unless you don't want to be found. That's later on. But
There's an achievement for meowing 100 times.
yes, and I missed that. And that's why I need to go through. I went through the achievement,
you were not
the
a
trophy
very
list.
accurate cat. You didn't meow
No,
100 times.
I didn't do it enough.
Well, Will on Twitter asked, "Why is there a dedicated meow button but not a jump button?" And I'm like, because of the trophy.
No,
There
because
is a dedicated jump button. It's
Well,
X.
but you can only
unless
do
you
it.
have a ledge. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha.
you can only do it when it's lit. It's not
That's right.
always.
does Will even have a cat? Does he not understand? Cats don't just jump for fun. They
I don't
only
know.
jump when they need to.
Yes,
And
That's a good
they
point.
do meow for fun.
yes. They'll just meow, and it drives my son crazy.
And then so, I might have been Chris HL, but I don't remember. Someone asked, my daughter was worried that if the cat can be harmed, and I'm like, well, there is a trophy called 9 Lives that is triggered.
I got that one.
When you die 9 times. So yeah, the cat can be harmed.
I did it for the achievement. Clear.
Yes,
I
that
mean,
clearly.
like there was
Pro
it was-
gamer.
I needed to
Pro
get the
gamer
achievement.
move.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Calculated.
made sure to
Calculated.
die 9 times for sure.
You see, I'm so early in the game. I don't think I've had an opportunity to die yet, except for maybe in that opening
Yes.
opening chase
So-
sequence. But
I don't want to
die there.
spoil anything because part of this game is discovery. But it is I believe it is part of there is an enemy that you have to avoid. I think they're called Zerks or something like that. It's a parasite that's grown to eat everything, including you. So,
Yummy.
you need to watch out for those parasites. So,
They must be Chinese.
there's some, there's some,
Sorry, had to say it.
that just took me a moment. Like, wait, what? Oh my gosh.
Jessica just dropped that on me.
Oh my gosh.
I
All right.
broke it. I broke everyone else.
Yes. So it is a cyberpunk environment where there's no humans, there's robots and parasites. And you're having to explore this area and for reasons. So part of the game again is about exploring and discovering. So, and also finding out the story behind what the robots you run into, why they're there, why you haven't run into any humans, so on and so forth, and why the parasites are there. So again, it is Stray on the PlayStation, maybe coming to other consoles later on. I believe there's an exclusivity for a certain length of time. So
But if you're playing on a PlayStation 5 and you do something that makes your cat purr, you can feel it in the haptics.
Yes, and a good point too, because again, this game
That's
gives you the
awesome.
perfect opportunity to be a cat. Not only are you jumping on things and meowing, but there's certain points where you can start scratching at the door, and you use the left and right trigger buttons to have to do it in sequence. And some things are required to do that, and some things you don't. You're just doing it to scratch up the furniture like a real cat, or the carpet, or whatever. So it is love. I love it. If you're a cat lover, you're definitely gonna love it. Even if you don't like games, or not games, but cats, you're gonna love the gameplay aspect of being a cat, I think. So, and plus, if you're allergic to cats, you don't have to worry about it because it's a video game. So, all right, enough of Stray. We can talk about it more another time. Back to the community spotlight. This is where, Andross, earlier I meant to ask you this during your spotlight, but I want to give you a chance to mention where all the people can find the Nintendo Pals and get a hold of you guys and watch your content.
Yeah, Nintendo Pals, we do a weekly podcast, and we also do YouTube videos and streams 3 times a week. You can find all that just by searching Nintendo Pals on your web browser of choice. Will come up. We are twitch.tv/Nintendo and _pals and youtube.com/Nintendo Pals, and then Nintendo Pals on all the podcast listening apps. That's where you can find us. We're also on like all the social media platforms. I hang out on the Nintendo Dads Discord quite a bit. I lurk more than I would like. I'd like to participate more, but once you're in all these Discords and everything,
Yes.
it's hard to keep up with them all. And
You're preaching to the choir.
yeah.
We
Speaking of Twitch,
understand.
though, I did finally look you guys up and find you on I talked about this earlier in the show, the twitchtracker.com.
Okay.
And Nintendo Dad's Twitch channel is ranked at 326,490 for
Yes.
all, and 167,571 for English, which puts you in the top 4.3% on Twitch.
There we go, Jesse. We made it.
Yay.
I am surprised that Nintendo Pals is up above you guys, because you guys have a significantly bigger follower count than we do.
We do
on
have a
Twitch.
larger follow count. But
What is that ranked on? Is that time streamed, or because we don't stream a lot?
There
are some weeks we don't stream at all.
The ranking is based on a lot of factors. That's sub count, but it's also based off watch hours and average viewers.
Yeah.
Again, that schedule.
Our,
if you're
our average viewers for a non-podcast stream is like 3.
Yeah. I'm saying, there are 1.4 thousand of you guys out there that are following the Nintendo Dads that are not tuning into the live streams.
right.
Listen, just like 1% of you, 1% of you need to come in and maybe partner. Like, just do it. You don't even have to watch. Just lurk. Come on, come do it.
Eventually,
come on, I'm over here. I'm like, come on, guys. What are you doing? Get over here.
Eventually, when we get
support
there
these
with the
guys.
schedule, we can. I think the schedule is the main important thing. Our only schedule is Thursdays, and then we randomly will show up.
That's fine. 1% of you aren't showing up for Thursday either. I'm calling you out. Get over here, people.
There you go.
Get over here. You can't just follow and not come. You don't have to
appreciate it.
Just put it on in the background. Yeah, it's easy.
We've got 6 people right now on Twitch.
Well, as mentioned, Nintendo Pals.
They're all like, I'm done. Andross is. I'm done with Andross. Get off.
Thank you for being on the show, and again, all our listeners. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there already who already follow Nintendo Pals, and if you're not, go give them a follow, and go give them a subscribe, and go give them a review on their podcasts too.
Please do.
Go give them a review.
We accept only 5 stars over at Nintendo Pals.
Yes, we only give the Mega Dads the less than 5 stars. They go give those.
Yeah, I have no grief with Mega Dads, but if you're looking for a place to send less than 5 stars, not here, not at Nintendo Pals or Nintendo Dads.
Right?
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
All right. Andross, thanks for coming in, especially in short notice, because it was today we talked about you coming on and being here. So thank you very much.
Good. Anytime. Always down to come hang with the dads.
All right. So again, community spotlight. We have our usual contest, monthly mayhem. There will be a new one coming, so stay tuned. Game Pass News has achievement hunters. They'll have a new hunt coming up soon, because I think their Fall Guys one ends today, or the time this show goes out on the podcast feed. But then the Dads After Dark have a bounty board, and I think the only bounty going on right now is to be the first to collect all Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga Kyber bricks. There are 1,166 in all, and if you get them all and you report it and report the bounty, you get $10 in eShop credit. Straight up. All you got to do is prove that you did it, show a picture of you on your Switch that you did it, the numbers, and you get $10 in the eShop. All right. Now let's move quickly on to the community questions, which we got a good handful of those. First one, as usual, we got one from Mecca almost every week until we asked him to take a vacation. I think 1 week. It's like, dude, don't worry, you don't have to submit one every week, and he took the week off. All right, Mecca sent in, what kind of animal do you think Kelowna is? And if you're not familiar with Kelowna,
Klonoa.
Kelowna, Kelowna, yes.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah.
I think it is Klonoa. Yes.
Kelowna. So that is part of the new.
Is there a right answer to this, or are we
collection that
just
came
making
out.
something up?
We're just figuring it out. What kind of animal do we think?
I don't know. I've
Klonoa.
never really. I never had a PlayStation, so I never played the original Klonoas, and I only heard about them. You know, I heard about them before the game's announced for the remake, but not much. So I kind of, looks like some rabbit thing to me.
Yeah, I was going to say rabbit. It's probably something ridiculous like hedgehog.
I'm gonna say koala because of the K.
Klonoa.
And sounds like Klonoa. Klonoa, the koala. I'll go with that. I'll say koala. But good question. I haven't played them yet either. And it is
With long
something.
ears.
It is something. Yeah, it is something on my radar, but I haven't been in the mood to play a platforming game. And I think these are essentially like 3D platforming games. So it's on my radar, but not right now. Because I do want to give it the respect, I guess.
The Wikipedia entry says that Klonoa has features of a dog, cat, and rabbit, but is not explicitly any particular animal. So there you go.
Maybe you find that out at the end that it was, it was the DNA was spliced together to make this creature. And
Isn't that Crash Bandicoot?
Klonoa. Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. I thought I was coming up with something original here.
I don't know. I don't know how any of these not Nintendo. Like, listen, your character's a plumber from Italy that lives in Brooklyn. I mean, you don't need more backstory than that. He's a person.
That's it. Great question, Mecca. Thanks for submitting that. And next up, we got Chris HL94. His question is, if Nintendo was creating a cinematic universe, I want to hear your pitch for a series of solo films leading up to the Avengers style team up.
Dude, I have done multiple podcasts on this very topic because
Nice.
The NCU is gonna happen. It has to. The Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Oh yeah.
Yes. So what you got?
What
What solo films do you need to happen to lead up to the Avengers style?
Yeah. So I want to be clear that the original Avengers, aka the original Super Smash Bros, is just going to have the original roster. This isn't Ultimate, so it's not going to have the 80 plus people.
Okay.
It's just going to be that original roster. Cool. So you're going to have your Mario movie for sure. You're going to have your Metroid movie for sure. Those are the solo movies. And the Mario movie knocks out a lot of the roster. Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi. And you can even put Donkey Kong in there. I would like Donkey Kong to get his own film. He won't. That's
kind of like the Incredible Hulk, or they'll try.
Exactly. He's going to be the Hulk.
Okay.
And
but they'll change CG actors after the first one.
Right.
Yes. Yep. It'll be Seth Rogen for the first one, and then they'll change him out for I don't know who plays Seth Rogen.
It'll be somebody else. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So like that.
They'll bring Edward Norton back for the second time.
Yeah. And then we will see a Mother will not get its own movie. He will only show up in Avengers. And you'll be like, oh, okay. Maybe he'll get a cameo.
Yeah, you gotta have
like a post. When Hawkeye shows up in Thor, he's like, everybody's grabbing the guns and he grabs a bow, and you're like, oh man, is that a tease? So everybody's gonna be grabbing guns, and you'll see someone grab a yo-yo. I'm like, is that a Mother 3? Is that a Mother tease? Is Ness gonna be in this?
Nice.
And then
Star Tropics.
obviously we're gonna have that'll be the thing. Everybody will be speculating online. Is Star Tropics in the next Smash Bros movie? You're gonna have your Pokemon standalone movie, which will take care of Pikachu and Jigglypuff. And then I am not sure if there will be an F-Zero movie or not. I want to say I'm inclined to no because Nintendo doesn't care about F-Zero.
Maybe a TV only miniseries.
Yeah, something. Yeah. I was gonna say, and I think Kirby will get its own standalone movie.
That'd be
And
interesting.
then Star Fox is a maybe on getting their own movie because I just
come
don't-
on, Star Fox is space though. Everybody loves a good space movie.
I know, but they already have Metroid. I feel like they might go like, nah, we'll just throw Star Fox in.
Well, Star Fox would be kind of like your Guardians of the Galaxy type thing.
There you
just
go.
have
There you go. Yeah,
Star Fox is your end credit scene from the Metroid movie.
that's what I was gonna say. I feel like F-Zero, Star Fox, and Metroid could all exist in the same universe, in the cinematic universe. There could be
Yes.
crossover there in the end credits.
There we go.
Yeah.
I love it. Jesse, anything to add or do or change?
I didn't get to that detail because I was thinking more kind of higher level. I figured you'd have a few Mario movies, and then you'd have a Mario Kart type of to be your almost Avengers. It's still your crossover movie,
Okay.
but then they have their phase 2 where they introduce more characters. Then you go with Smash Brothers.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, so you think Mario Kart's going to be the first Avengers?
The first Avenger movie.
All
Okay.
right. No, because
Avengers
they've got like they have Melee after that, and you'll have more characters, and then it'll be leading up to phase 3, which is Brawl, and phase 4, which is
I
going to
wasn't
be
thinking that far ahead.
phase 4, which actually lines up perfectly with WiiU, and then they won't know what to do.
Yeah, that starts opening up the crazy.
Then they won't know what to do after that. There will be a whole bunch of spin-off shows and no like direction or main villain anymore.
At least that's
and
what
then,
you think.
And then yeah, hopefully it all comes back.
And then there's Secret Wars. Oh wait, we're talking about something else. So
Long franchise.
All right.
It's so doable. Like the thing is, it's like this would make a lot of money.
This is
A
where it's
lot of
going.
money.
This is where it's clearly going with the Mario movie that's coming out that they delayed. It's clear as day.
Please
So
let the
is this-
Nintendo Cinematic Universe be real.
Is this why Nintendo bought the animation studio? Or
Totally. They're going the same route as Marvel Studios.
But you know, I want it to be live action is the problem. I don't know how it would work exactly because almost all of these characters, with the exception of Captain Falcon and Samus, can't really work in a live action setting without heavy CGI, right? Pokemon looked great. I really liked Detective Pikachu.
Yes,
agreed.
They've already got it. They've already got the standalone Pikachu movie.
they could do it for
Yeah.
sure. Yep. If you can make it look like real dinosaurs are here, in real life, then you can make it look like
Kirby's going to be horrifying.
Kirby's flying around your world.
What is he going to look like? Is like big fleshy blob?
So
It'll be
yeah,
horrifying.
we're gonna get the horrible version of
You
Kirby
are right.
first,
Yeah.
and
It's gonna be
everybody
Sonic.
Yes, everybody's gonna hate it, and then
It'll be
everybody and then they
cartoony.
redo it, and then
Well,
then-
like the Jigglypuff in the Detective Pikachu movie, people saw that and went, "Ew."
Yep.
Oh,
Oh man. So the question is Mario going to be CG or is he going to be a real character? And the answer is he'll
Yes.
be a real character. And yes, Chris Pratt will reprise the role
yes,
for the Smash Bros. Movie.
great stuff. I love it. I can't wait to watch all of this. So
Yeah.
Next up, Super Nintendo asks, do you have any favorite game soundtracks that you listen to outside of gaming, or a particular album or playlist that you turn on while gaming? For me, 9 Inch Nails in particular is one of the best bands to listen to while destroying a game's enemy. After all, they did the Quake soundtrack. Also, Falcom sound team JTK kills it on the Wise and Trails soundtracks. So, question is again, is there a favorite game soundtrack you listen to outside of gaming, or vice versa? Are you listening to a particular album or playlist while you're gaming?
Well, I don't listen to anything while I game. As you know, I'm either listening to the game, or if it's something that it is like brain dead, like if I think Dragon Quest grinding, then I might be doing like watching TV or YouTube or something else. But I'm not just doing that and listening to music. Well, I don't listen to much music, but when I do, I'll normally put in, like, if I want some ambient background, something, it'll probably be from Final Fantasy 4 or 6 or Persona 3, 4, or 5.
All good. Yeah. Are you talking like the dancey music pieces? Every song has like the main title that's like just a banger, like super jam music that.
Yeah, I'll just say play the entire soundtrack, and I'll have music for 3 hours. Sometimes there's I have some Pokemon tracks that are pretty good. Like recently, the Diamond and Pearl.
Yep, that was why I was going to shout out Diamond and Pearl. Excellent soundtrack. Excellent.
That they let us download until they took it away.
There's not very many racing games that do this anymore. It's kind of hard to do unless your PlayStation kind of did it with their connection with Spotify, I think. But I'm not. I didn't use it too often. I might have used it once, but I don't remember what game I used it for. But I'm referring to Excite Truck for the Nintendo Wii. You could put in a SD card with MP3s on it and listen to your own music while playing Excite Truck. And I absolutely love that, because I would put, some of my favorite fast-paced songs on there, either, some heavy metal or some electronic music, and just have a blast with that. And then
we patched out the ability to play MP3s because of licensing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can only play the Apple format. I forget what they refer it to.
But... Oh, the AAC or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Or lossless, or whatever that was. But yeah, there was that time when I was able to do that, and I loved every minute of being able to do that. But I also enjoyed soundtracks from games that did licensed music, though, more so, I think, too. Like your Wipeout did a lot of licensed electronic music. Tony Hawk games did a lot of, rock and alternative music in their games, and I love those. But I always enjoyed video game ones that I've actually sat and listened to. Metroid soundtracks, the haunting music, in some of those.
Oh, the Prime games.
The Prime ones for sure. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the ambience and everything like that. Especially like the menu stages or menu screen, the music there. Just loved listening to that. It was something about it, just so cool. And then I also like hearing other artists be inspired by those, by either doing a remix of those songs themselves, or attempting to do the same song but extending it, or putting a little bit of spin on it. I have a few albums like that, and it also includes Legend of Zelda in that regard as well. So
all in going crazy in the chat here. Seth's is a huge music buff. Tell them about Elite Beat Agents.
Oh geez, that's right, Elite Beat Agents for sure. Because of, again, those are a lot of licensed music, which is why it was hard probably to get a second game over here in the States for Elite Beat Agents, because of all the licenses and stuff. But it used a lot of licensed songs there. Some I didn't know, some I did. And
WiiU Music used public domain garbage.
So
yeah.
Yeah, and Mecha's asking what songs would I want in Elite Beat Agents 2. That's a episode in itself, so I won't get started on that one. That would be a whole other topic to bring up. But great question there. But yeah, do we listen to music outside of gaming? It sounds like we all do. And do we listen to music while we're gaming? We're listening to some of those soundtracks that are already perfect in the game, so maybe not. But for me, for racing games, I have a lot of music that I really like too. So if it's got a good banger, as you said, or in the racing game for me, then I can zone out into that game, just listening to music and concentrating on the track and just totally eating up the track with a good soundtrack. Great question, Super Nintendo. That was awesome. So
I listened to. I was going to give an answer.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
So
we had long
you
answers.
guys gave great answers. I will try and be brief because I absolutely love.
I thought you gave yours. My apologies.
I love Nintendo music or gaming music soundtracks. It plays in my house almost all day, constantly. I am listening to Nintendo music.
Nice.
I put on playlists just off YouTube. You know, there's a bunch you can find. They're like relaxing Nintendo music for studying or epic and happy Nintendo music. There's a bunch, and it's just a mix of stuff. I love Diamond and Pearl, like Jesse mentioned. I really like that era of Nintendo music, which is much more jazzy. Get that with the Wii. There's a lot of very jazz influenced music. Yeah. Pokemon, yeah, really can't go wrong. There's a lot of good stuff. But Breath of the Wild soundtrack, very, very good. That's one that I can listen to pretty much anytime. Right now, I am hooked on this song. It is one I heard on a playlist. It is the final boss theme for Miitopia. And holy cow, this song goes so hard. I kid you not. There's like 8. There's at least 3 different like huge movements. It starts with this like orchestral choir that's like, oh man, sounds kind of Castlevania-y, and then it just goes into guitar riffs, and then into like electronic dancey music.
Sweet.
And it is like a musical explosion in your ears. And I can't get enough of listening to this song right now. And it is perfect boss fight music. So as far as listening, I tend to just listen to what's in the game, but on occasion, especially when streaming, to fit like a certain tone for something we're trying to do, like, oh man, this is an epic moment in this speed run. I'm not gonna just leave on the Zelda ambiance. Let's throw on some Darkest Lord Miitopia OST extended while we finish the speed run here. So yeah, stuff like that.
You can't forget the best Zelda soundtrack track of all time, Malamar's theme.
Malomart. Let's go, Jesse. Yeah.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, YouTube it. You're going to be amazed.
Just come hang out on a Nintendo Pass stream. It's a channel point reward. You can redeem that song to be played over the top of the stream. It is so great. It's so great. That's it. I'm sorry, Tim.
No, you're good.
I remember when Twilight Princess released on the Wii U, they changed the eShop music to that for the day.
I didn't know that. That is awesome. eShop music. Peak Nintendo music systems. I have a playlist that I go to frequently that is just Nintendo systems music, and it is just like Wii eShop, like the eShop music, the different apps, the Check Me Out channel, the Everybody Votes channel. There's so many good songs that were just in these like apps and things.
The Famicom Disk System theme.
What is that? I don't know. I don't know if I've heard. I probably have if it exists.
Oh, it exists. Yeah. I can play it in a minute. Just keep talking.
All right. One I thought of while you were talking about yours, Andross, again, was Never Yield, because of the lo-fi music there. Great game and a great soundtrack to go along with it, especially if you're into lo-fi. So that's one of Marty's. I think he liked that one too. So,
Yeah.
But
when you're into hi-fi, you don't want lo-fi. You want to go hi-fi. Metopia, Darkest Lord theme. I'm not kidding. Everybody needs to go look that song up.
I'm gonna be checking that one out when we're done
enjoy it.
here. So
All right.
there's-
Nintendo Famicom Disk System.
Okay. Ooh.
nice.
That's it.
Why doesn't the Switch have any music?
And then my favorite bit of trivia about that track is slow it down 16 times. That's the GameCube settings creepy music.
They're like, wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Ooh.
Interesting. Good trivia.
Man, okay, but seriously, why does the Nintendo Switch have no system music? That's like one of my favorite things from the Wii and the Wii U and the 3DS even. There's some really good systems.
Keeping the OS light. So,
But could you keep it fun? Could you keep it fun by putting some music?
It takes
into
too
it?
much. Takes too much memory to keep it fun.
Yeah, no music, no themes. Sorry, everybody. You want your games to start up fast? No.
There's no balance there. It's either one way or the other. All right, but that was again awesome question, Super Nintendo. Next question is from Drew. He said, if you had to go, and I changed some wording here just because it's family friendly. If you had to go on a camping trip with any Nintendo character, who would it be? Who would you go camping with?
I have one answer. Because I don't like camp cooking. Because I don't like cooking in general, but camp cooking is even worse. So I'd want to take someone along with me who can help with that. So let's take Cooking Mama.
Is that a Nintendo character?
Not a Nintendo character, but
okay.
a character known.
Cooking Mama's never been on a not Nintendo system, right?
It has recently, but yes. I get what you're saying.
She's known to be on DS and 3DS,
Yes.
but I don't think she is a Nintendo character.
That's
So I'm
a
kind
good
of
one.
I think I'm stretching the definition of what he's looking for.
I've heard Brock is really good at cooking from Pokemon.
But he's a creeper.
Brock's the best. What are you talking about, Jesse? He just has a very stereotypical womanizer personality for some reason. I don't know why they did that. What in a children's show, but okay.
Right.
Yeah, early Pokemon is censored to hell.
I'm trying to think who I would want to go camping trip with. I'd say Mario. I mean, that's probably a easy. You might think it's an easy answer, but Mario and Luigi. Get the brothers out, go camping with them.
All End Podcast says Brock can bring the jelly donuts.
These donuts are great. Jelly filled are my favorite. Yeah. Brock, I love Brock.
Why censor the onigiri? You don't have to call it.
Listen,
onigiri,
kids don't know what onigiri is.
They know what a rice ball is. It's a rice formed as a ball. How hard is that? Call it a rice ball. Anyway,
what were they gonna do? These rice balls are great. Jelly filled rice is my favorite. Not as. We gotta appeal to these American donut-loving children.
I don't know.
4 kids. Yeah.
4 kids is awful.
Think of anything, Andross? Anybody you want to go camping with, a Nintendo character you want to go camping with?
Yeah, I mean, Drew was looking for a very different answer than what this question's kind of leading towards. I'll direct him to our top Nintendo characters ranked as potential spouses
Okay.
video, which we take that very seriously.
Okay.
Who would be the best spouse? And obviously the right answer is Luigi.
Okay.
So, but
Yes.
my answer, I think Link is like a good camping companion. He can cook, like Breath of the Wild. He can cook. He can.
Well, sometimes the cooking is so bad it has to be censored by pixels.
That's true. That's true. But have you seen the other food in that game? Oh, it's so
Yes.
good. I man. Yeah, so there's that, and he's also very resourceful, make fires and just seems like he'd be a cool guy to
He's
hang
very
out
quiet.
with.
He's very quiet too. He's a very quiet guy.
Yeah. Yep. So I guess maybe not a conversationalist.
Not to talk about stuff around the campfire too much, but
So that's what
definitely be resourceful. Yes.
that's what I go with.
That volume was down, by the
if
way.
Navi's there,
Yeah.
Navi's there, then we'll have plenty of conversation.
Right.
Ibisel says Peter Pepper. Not a Nintendo character, but video game character. You two look confused. He's
I
he's
don't
the
know who
character.
Peter Pepper is.
He's the character you control in Burger Time.
Oh,
Wow. That's a throwback right there.
That is a
Peter
deep cut.
Pepper picked
That's
a
a deep-
peck of purple Peter Peppers.
No.
All right. Thanks, Drew, for that question. And I know they'll have a version of that. I'm sure they'll answer on Dads After Dark. So Ebicel asks, how long would it take the dads to eat 41 pounds of blueberries? And what are their favorite blueberry dishes? Do you guys even like blueberries to begin with?
Not 41 pounds of blueberries, that's for sure.
I like blueberries. I don't eat them often. Growing up, I remember my mom would make a fruit pizza. It was a dessert item made with with a glaze.
That went from I'm disgusted to I am intrigued very, very quickly.
A dessert pizza.
With the glaze. That was my introduction to what a kiwi is. And
That's the pepperoni.
Kiwi, banana, strawberry, blueberry, and that was she would make that a lot in the summer as a dessert. But yeah,
Yummy.
and I'm not familiar. I don't know what 41 pounds of blueberries looks like. I do know what 40 pounds of strawberries looks like. We would do that every once in a while, and my mom would can them, and we would have strawberry jam for 3 years.
Nice.
I like blueberries. I don't know how long it would take me to eat 41 pounds. Probably multiple months. I'm just not going to do that in one sitting, like a food eating contest.
I would get sick for sure. I like blueberries. Not saying
My
I get
son
sick because
probably
of that,
has eaten that much in blueberries.
True.
Changed a lot of blueberry diapers.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, now we're back to the disgusting again. That turned around fast.
I don't know if I have a favorite blueberry dish specifically. I mean, I don't even think I've had blueberry pie.
I like a good blueberry muffin.
Oh yeah, there we go. Blueberry muffin.
It's also great in pancakes, but I think a muffin's. I think I like it more in a muffin.
Yes, I will take that. I'm gonna agree with that one too. Jesse, can you think of anything?
I can't think of anything else.
Anything else? Okay.
Yeah, again, I don't because with especially since I'm keto again and all, I can't have some berries. I guess can't have a lot of it.
Okay.
So we kind of generally avoid berries in recipes.
Makes sense. All right. Moving on, we got Solo Something who asked, Nintendo characters now run a podcast and Discord. Of all the characters, who would you want to see as the Ford podcast host and why?
Oh, I do like the second part of his question here. You go like, who would be the most active, the lurker, get banned, or clickish?
Yeah, and on their Discord, which characters would likely be those 4 things? But I was starting with the Who would be the 4 podcasters?
I don't want Toad on a podcast because that voice is grating.
No. Jabba! Toad's great. I love Toad. I had a question. I think it was it wasn't Solo. It was another community member or Nintendo Pals was like cursed to have Mario's nose or Toad's voice. Well, yeah, Toad's voice all the way.
Nice.
I think Rosalina. She's
Yeah,
Be one of those. Okay.
yeah, that's a good pick. I think Samus would be a great host on a podcast. It'd be really cool to get the perspective of kind of the hardened bounty hunter.
Yes.
What is their podcast about?
Just as long as she doesn't
Is
talk
it
about
about
babies.
the baby? Yeah.
They talk about their podcast is about life after defeating the last boss. What's life like after you've gone through all that?
Game Over. The podcast is called Game Over.
There we go. Yes, it's called Game Over.
Oh man, that's,
Wow.
So you...
that is great. What?
Well, it kind of goes dark if you think about it a little bit. But
they're in retirement. Samus,
especially depending on if you have Link in there and which version of Link, because then it depends on if it was after, depending on the path. Like Ganon survived or he didn't survive path. So if you got both of those links there, you got to talk about like the path where Link didn't kill Ganon and the path where Link did.
It's just 4 links.
Yes,
yeah, because you can see colors in it. Because you can see colors in an audio podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesse, so I want to hear Jesse's 4 because you said Rosalina. I'm gonna come up with my own 4. So
I wasn't able to think of all of them, but
Jesse's like, here's mine. I'm done.
Yeah.
Here's my one. Maybe it's 4. That's kind of like, because of the Nintendo dads have 4. So
yeah,
it's like,
so we're picking characters.
Well, how about we get the 4 ladies? We got, so Rosalina, Peach,
Daisy.
Pauline, and
Daisy.
Daisy.
Hi, I'm Daisy. I wouldn't listen to that podcast.
That would be. What would their topics be? There would be fashion topics or something.
I have a joking dislike for Daisy.
Yeah.
Joking. I'm not serious, guys. I don't actually not like Daisy, but
their topics are.
How do you find your lost parasols and purses?
Or how do you find?
Oh, gosh, I feel like this is delving into not okay territory.
How about their podcast is called Your Princess is in Another Castle? Yeah. And they talk about, finding their significant other because of being saved, I guess, or something like that. Or how you can find your significant other.
Maybe but Rosalina, here's the thing, Rosalina and Pauline don't have a significant other. They're just...
Well, and I was going to say, and not have to, eventually they went about their own business.
Without the kidnapping step?
Yes.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yes. They have a conversation about how not to get kidnapped,
This
how
is
to keep your
just the view,
significant other.
But it's in the Mushroom Kingdom.
I didn't say it was going to be a good show.
Oh, gosh.
So on their Discord, going to the second part you were talking about, which characters would likely each be most active, a lurker, get banned, and clickish?
I was thinking Link for a lurker because he doesn't talk a lot.
That's a good one. I think Donkey Kong would get banned.
Oh, I was thinking more like Waluigi.
Why Waluigi? What? Waluigi would not get banned.
I think
he's not in Smash. 87 characters. and not in Smash.
I don't think that's because he was banned. I feel like Wario's more likely to get banned. He's
point.
gonna say Wario's gonna say something politically charged.
So you think
You just know
Waluigi would be the clickish one?
I feel like Waluigi'd lurk.
Oh,
He'd be lurker too.
He's too
Yeah.
out there.
I don't know. Maybe he'd be really active. He'd be looking for.
I would say he'd
looking
be
for
active.
a lot of attention.
Yes,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I see it.
There it is. We found our answer.
And I think Toad would be clickish
My
because you got a group of Toads there.
Pikmin. All the Pikmin.
All the Pikmin would be clickish. Yes.
My 4 hosts that I want to pick, I'm going to pick Samus, Wario. All right, that's who I want from.
I'm listening
Mushroom,
already.
Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I bet
listening.
he's got to have a fart sound in his soundboard.
And then
Does he need to have it on a soundboard? Or
No,
he
he
just do it
doesn't.
on command.
And then I think probably Falco and Captain Falcon. Those are who I want. I want variety, just like we get here at the Nintendo Dads. So I want all walks of life. You know, I feel like each of them would have insanely different perspectives. And the main host is going to be Wario. He's going to be the driver of the show with the other hosts taking their respective roles. Yeah.
And of course, he has to have Dribble and Spitz as his guests to, you know, that's his transportation to the show.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There's
I like
good
where that's
potential
going.
there. Yeah. I'm like, man,
where that's going.
that's a way better sounding podcast than the one I host.
That would be fun if somebody actually could, like, if those either voice actors or the people could do those voices.
Charles Martinet could just do his own show.
True.
What do you think, Luigi? I don't know, Mario. Like, it's just him in a room by himself. He could do. He doesn't he voice all of them? He voices Mario, Luigi, Waluigi, and Wario. So let's just have them all as hosts. There you go.
He'd have a conversation with himself essentially.
Yeah, not the first
but
time.
having to switch characters. So, all right, we got one more question. And it came from an unexpected place from our YouTube. I noticed that we had a question there in comments from one of our previous shows. And the question is from Let's Switch Games. They dropped it on July 8th. So after that episode, if video gaming was not a thing, it simply didn't exist, what do you think would be your hobby instead?
I know I've dabbled with a few non-gaming hobbies over the years. Like I for most of my life, I was a programmer. You know, even not professionally, but just did my own side projects. You know, and so that's probably would be still, you know, up there. I've done archery with the SCA, so I might be more involved, and I might have stuck with the archery.
That's one of the top picks you found. That is insanely cool. That's way cool. Like, yeah, I'd probably be into archery.
Yeah, well, I've made my own arrows before.
You still do.
Time consuming. You know, and then again recently, you know, the small electronics with my 6502 kit that I've been trying to put together. So I guess those are three possible options for me.
Andross?
So I like how Jesse put it. I have dabbled with other hobbies for sure, but once you become a dad and you're working, it's really hard to find time to have all those. And so, like, for me, really, it's like gaming and podcasting and YouTube, and, you know, Nintendo Pals is my life outside of work and family. So that's like all I have time for. But if I had more time, I would be a lot more into board gaming. I have a huge collection. I love board gaming. It's a lot of fun, but I just don't have the time.
You would have a podcast about board gaming probably too.
Oh, Oh, 100%. It's a Patreon. It is a Patreon goal at some point. We'll
There you go.
hopefully have a board game pals. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I feel like it's a bit of a cop-out answer because it's essentially video games, but not video games. I'm still doing games because I just enjoy games. I don't know. That's the aspect of strategizing, working within mechanics, and choosing what you do and having fun is like what I do. Besides that, maybe some music type stuff. I do enjoy playing guitar, piano.
That's nice.
I have a saxophone I need to learn how to play still.
Sweet.
So yeah, maybe those are the things.
I can just see you one day hopping up on that table behind you and just going playing that saxophone.
The careless whisper.
Right. So mine would be probably either continuing to DJ because I enjoyed doing that a long time ago, but getting into more of the electronic dance movement music type stuff and doing my own mixing of that stuff. I think I would have gotten into that.
Would
But I
you yell
didn't.
your name like a lot of these DJs do? DJ Timoff.
It would be DJ Showtime. If you
DJ
heard
Showtime.
On previous dinner
There you go.
tables. But yes, I only DJ'd parties and weddings and stuff like that. And, playing your top dance, get people on the dance floor type music type stuff. But I enjoyed it, and would have looked in other avenues of doing that. The other aspect that I enjoyed, but I had to stop because of video games, because I had to spend my money somewhere in video games.
That's
rather
another
than
good
this.
point. Financially,
It's financially.
you only have
I was a golfer. I started out golfing in high school, was on the golf team.
You just got Drew's attention.
Golfed a lot. So, but I had to stop because I wasn't able to keep up with practicing, and I just got horrible at it. So, because I would, slice or chip or whatever the terms are. I forget the terms, but it was frustrating for me. It wasn't fun anymore. So I stopped. Plus financially, I couldn't keep up with both because
It's
buying
expensive.
new clubs and,
Yep.
and all that kind of stuff gets very expensive, especially when you work
Green fees.
Yes.
are
Yeah.
the golf
expensive.
cart. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So maybe one day again, I'll get freshen up some skills and stuff. Like if like you said, if gaming wasn't a thing, or if the podcast stopped, I would probably go back to golfing. So those were my areas. So it was a great question, though. I thought that was an awesome question to come through.
That's super interesting because like, would you have a podcast on golfing?
I would probably be part of it for sure. Part of one, if I felt I was good enough and could talk intelligently about it, for sure.
Welcome to DJ Dads, where we talk about DJing and golf.
Yes,
That's-
I DJ out in the courses and by night, but I golf during the day.
Yeah. By day, I play golf. By night, I'm a DJ.
That's right. So that's our questions. Let's move on quickly to what's going on in our Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. We have our Game Pass news, which recently dropped their episode 62. They usually drop around the weekends. And they talked about Ubisoft and the Skull of Bones game that's coming out, RoboCop and the Terminator game. And as usual, they talk about Xbox Game Pass games that you should be keeping an eye out for. So go take a look at and listen to them. They have their own YouTube channel. They also have their own podcast feed. Again, that's Game Pass News for
Killing
Xbox stuff.
Killing it over there, those guys.
For sure. We have the Dads After Dark show guys, Drew and John. They always have great conversations, as you heard Justin talking about, them talking about his topic of why Justin needs a hug because of his gaming ruts. They also talk about they play a game called Golf or Porn, which is hilarious. And then also Who Needs a Direct Anyways, talking about Nintendo. So again, you can listen to them on podcast feed. Go pick them up on Anchor, or they also they're in our YouTube feed, and they also have their own YouTube channel as well for a lot of the 30-second reviews that Drew used to do. So
Drew's 30-second.
I mean, excuse me, John used to do.
John's 30-second reviews are awesome. They are so good.
Yes. And then Retro Logic has a lot going on over there. They have not only do they have the Retro Logic show, which is episode 84, where Dan's brother Adam talks about what is the Danverse, which I want to find out what that is.
Isn't
but they also talk about
Gotcha
NES.
Force and Donkey Kong. I think that's all there is there.
Unless they're talking about all these podcasts, because there's a good Danverse there going on.
That is
Topic
true.
Retro, the Retro Groove, 2 other podcasts they have on their feed where On Top Retro talks about a lot of the retro rewind games they play, or specific retro games that they want to focus on, like Mario versus Donkey Kong Mini Land Mayhem was the last thing they talked about, or Bionic Commando, I think was another one they did. So and also Retro Groove, which is on hiatus. It is their music podcast where they talk about various topics about music, which is a really good show too. So they have 25 episodes, so if you really want to check them out, now's a good time to catch up on that.
And matching playlists with the episodes, so you can listen to music
So
they're
you
talking
can
about.
listen to it. It's really cool.
Retro Logic, I want to interject here. We consider them like a sister podcast to us because they started about the same time that we did and are about the same size. And they are fantastic guys over there. So please, if you're listening here and you have not yet checked out Retro Logic, do it. It's a great show. Great show.
And there's something for everybody that we try to fulfill, even if it's not with us. We try to direct you to the right place. Like Dad's After Dark show does every now and then a podcast, a Dad's PlayStation Dads, podcast every once in a while. And who knows, maybe there'll be more of those too. So we have something for everybody, where it's some PlayStation, some Nintendo, some Retro Logic, for retro games. And then if we can't fulfill your needs, we obviously say go check out other places.
Here's a doctor's note. We'll refer you over to the Nintendo Pals.
Exactly.
Your diagnosis is not enough. Not enough. Here's some more.
Yep. So
no, there's a fantastic. The indie podcast community has a lot out there. So
for sure,
welcome to the multiverse of the podcastiverse.
Yes, there's so many things, so many people doing great stuff out there that
That's
I'll
a better
mention
name.
A few.
You guys calling about the Nintendo Dad's Family Podcast. I think this now needs to be the Dadverse.
Yes, that's correct.
Into the Daddyverse.
No, I don't like that.
DCU.
It's not okay. I
Or
take
would that
it
be,
back.
Is that DPU for Dad's Podcast Universe?
The Dad Podcast Universe.
There we go, DPU. All right, with that, everybody, that is episode 384. Andross, you help us break the record for the longest episode ever, probably. So thank you very much for coming to the show.
Challenge run complete. Challenge run complete.
Almost
I'm
4
so sorry.
hours.
Yes.
Oh no.
We haven't done that in a long time. So
I
that
am
was a
so
lot of
sorry.
fun.
I am so sorry, everybody.
It's not your fault. We had a lot of content and we had a lot to talk about. So
There wasn't even like news this week, guys.
Oh, we made news. We just made news. All right. With that, let's talk about closing out the show. Thanks to our 6,312 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you very much for listening and watching us over there. And thanks to our Twitch followers, 1,378 of you, as well as the 20 Twitch subscribers we have over there. Don't forget that if you have an Amazon Prime account, you get a free Twitch Prime subscription that you can use, and you can use it with us. And we'd be greatly honored if you did that. And then you get to come in and join us in Discord as well. So don't forget also that we have our NINDADS code that you can use over at manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping. You can also use that at a couple other places like Gooder Glasses and Glitch Energy Drinks. That where we get some you get a percentage off just by using NINDADS because we worked out something with them. So keep those in mind.
Everywhere you go, just put in NDADS.
Just try NINDADS.
Just try it.
Just try it. And if it doesn't work, let us know. Maybe we can work out something with them. So anyways, huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Solo Something, Alexandra Ocampo, RJ Kern, and Chad Benoist. Thank you all so much for what you do, not just to them because we call out their names, but all of our Patreon subscribers. Thank you so much. And our Twitch subscribers. It's hard to talk. Check out our website, nintendodads.org, where you can catch up on everything that we do there, a centralized location to see our YouTube videos, our tweets, podcast episode information, social media links, Nintendo merch, our Gmails or our email accounts. You can also connect to us via our voicemail at 92925-NINDADS, or excuse me, NDADS, or that's 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music throughout the show. Download your favorite podcast app of choice, like Castbox, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or Spotify, or Google Podcast, if you will, too. I think that needs to be updated there. But that's how you can download our podcast there in our feed, as well as the others that you've heard on the show today. So for me, for Jesse, for Andross, and the missing Marty, and Justin, and Micah, thanks for all coming by and listening to us. You all have a wonderful day. Check you later.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening into Nintendo Dads.
Nintendo Dads Podcast.
But I need to protect the humans.